tutor worked a new angle.
I will guarantee in-person sessions once a week till graduation.
So the judge...
When was she going to graduate?
2022.
Does the math.
How many times did he tutor your daughter?
5.
It doesn't say your student's graduation.
You're an idiot.
This is Judge Judy.
Jill Zimmerman is suing tutor David Casper for the return of money she paid him to tutor her daughter.
Order. All rise. It's case number 423 on the calendar, the matter of Zimmerman versus Casper.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Young lady, have a seat.
Mr. Casper, how long did you tutor the plaintiff's daughter?
Tutored her for all of her freshman year and her older brother for longer than that.
I'm talking about her. How long did you tutor her?
For an academic school year.
And what did you tutor her in?
High school geometry, Your Honor.
How many days a week?
Usually one, but I was flexible. If she needed extra time and there's a quiz, then I'd be willing to hop in the car and come over.
When you say you'd be willing to hop in the car and come over, you got paid.
I did.
And how much did you charge an hour?
100.
Big question. I have other cases to do today. It's almost lunchtime, and I have something to do after work today. I want to tell you something. It's my show, not yours. Nobody cares whether you have a personality or not. So just answer my questions.
Your Honor,
okay?
to answer this...
Just answer my question.
I would like to answer your question
How much do you charge an hour?
I charged her 90. I charge new clients 100.
I don't care what you charge new clients.
That's fine.
I don't care whether you charge them 80 or 70 or 150 or whatever. You charged her $90 per hour. And she paid you at the time of your tutoring. Finished the day, you got paid $90. Did you get paid $90 by check or cash?
I believe with her it was check. Sometimes we might have used Venmo. I had a lot of different clients. I don't remember the specifics.
It was just check.
Check. Made out to him.
Made out to David Casper.
For a year.
For my daughter, Shay.
So in the course of a year, she was tutored at least once a week?
There was times when she was not tutored once a week.
Okay. How much money did Miss Zimmerman pay you in the freshman year just for tutoring?
I would have to go back and look at the math.
How much would you estimate?
Yeah, it ended up being about 25 sessions times 90.
And what's your main source of income?
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
And what's your main source of income, Mr. Casper?
It used to be tutoring.
Shh. It was tutoring. And you made out the checks to him. Did you 1099 him at the end of the year?
I did not.
Did we all know what 1099 is? That means when you make over a certain amount of money and it's not to a corporation or an LLC, you have to 1099 the person who you paid that money to so that they pay taxes on it. Okay, so you did not 1099 him?
Never.
Because the government gets that. Now, when he tutored your son, how long did he tutor your son?
He started tutoring my son in December of 2017 and continued tutoring him until we got the letter last spring.
Okay, so he tutored him from December until when?
Until June of 2019.
Your Honor, she made reference to a letter if you'd like to see.
I don't want to see a letter. Right now I'm on your taxes.
I'll have it ready when you're ready.
Great. Did you 1099 him on any of the money that you paid to him for your son?
No.
You do know you're under an obligation to do that.
I do now.
And he's under an obligation to report it. Now, you said you had a lot of other clients, Mr. Casper. How many of your other clients gave you 1099s?
0, Your Honor.
In the year 2018, how much did you report to the government that you earned?
I would have to look at my tax records to give you a precise number.
Did you do your taxes alone, or did you do them with an accountant? Come out and tell me how much you told the federal government you earned in 2018. We'll recall. You want to look it up? Look it up. Curious.
In 2018, I had a gross income of $42,878.83.
How much from tutoring?
100%.
And of that $42,000, at least $5,000 of that came from this family.
Again, I'd have to look at the precise records, but I would guess it might have been less than that.
Were you tutoring both children?
Sometimes they would trade off. I didn't do 2 hours every single week.
But sometimes you ran over in a rush if they needed a test or a quiz.
Sure.
And how many clients did you have?
It varied, but around 25 a week.
Well, I must be getting something wrong here. Bird, would you take the calculator?
Sure.
For me. So he had about 25 clients a week. And he charged them $90 each. Let's say $90. Some he charged them, but let's say 90. And let's do, because maybe he didn't tutor them over the summer because they don't have geometry over the summer. So let's say it's 50 weeks.
Your Honor, that's...
Don't speak. Don't speak.
And $12,500.
That's right. So it's not $42,000, it's $112.50, and that's only for 50 weeks a year. So let's say it's 49 weeks a year or 48 weeks a year. So it's $100,000.
Your Honor...
I know who I am. Now let's get to what the case is about. You understand where I'm going? We don't have to play with each other. I'm older than you are. I know the rules. I know the game. I know 1099s. I know what you do.
Your Honor, you also don't have kids in school on the academic calendar. Tutoring 50 weeks per year when there's no homework during summer break and Christmas break and spring break.
I took off those weeks, sir. And I took it down, not 52 weeks, I took it down to 48 weeks. And even at 48 weeks, sir, which gives you the summer months off.
Yeah, 4 weeks of summer break? 52 minus 4 is 48. So there's 52 weeks in a year.
Let's try it. You had 25 clients a week, which is what you told me, and you charged each client $90 a week. And let's say they had one session a week. Okay? How many weeks do you want me to consider, sir?
Thank you for asking. I think a much more reasonable number would be something about 39.
Okay. You had 25 clients a week times 39.
There are a lot of breaks in the school year.
Times 39. That's 80, 42, 11.
And you'll remember that I said it varies. There's a ramp-up time in the fall where I don't have a full schedule on the very first week of school.
Very first week of school.
That's hard to do.
So take it down from 87 to 80. That still means you're reporting half the income that you earned. Now we're going to get to the case. I just want to know who I'm dealing with. You sent a letter at some point after you tutored her son and her daughter that you decided to leave tutoring and go back to school. And then you sent all your clients a letter. I'd like to see a copy of the letter. From you. Not on your case yet. So what he's doing in this letter, he's saying thank you to everybody. It's been a wonderful opportunity for the last few years for him to do tutoring. It's been a privilege. If there's an academic emergency arises, there's a chance he may be able to make a trip over Saturday or Sunday, but he plans to continue his normal tutoring through March 31st, 2019. Finally, if it would make you happy to invest in me and my education. Are you following me, Bird?
I'm hearing you.
$9,000 in tuition, which I am financing through my home equity line of credit. As a small way of saying thank you, I assume that means thank you to you for tutoring their children for which you got paid. So as a small way of saying thank you,
that's not what I meant, Your Honor.
If you donate $3,000 or more, I will guarantee in-person sessions once a week from April 1st until graduation. This is a small token of thanks. I don't know whose thanks. Thank you for your consideration. If you choose this, please contact me, and I will let you know the details. Now, when you got this letter, did you contact him?
We did not. We discussed it at the next tutoring session when he came back.
Okay. And when was that? This letter was written March 3rd.
We did not get it March 3rd. We got it probably March 27th. That's when he gave us the letter.
Oh, that's when he gave you the letter. Did you discuss the letter with him at that time?
He left it with us, and then I discussed it with my ex-husband.
Okay. And when was the next time you saw him?
April 20th.
When you buy a used car, you buy it as it is.
This couple thought they were covered.
Who wrote up this bill of sale?
I did, Your Honor.
If repairs exceeded $1,000...
Then a breakdown showdown.
As soon as we got on the freeway, the check engine light turned on.
You sold this car within a couple of months. Something doesn't smell right to me.
This is Judge Judy. Zachary and Alexa Perry are suing Diane Donges for the refund on the sale of a car, repair costs, and registration fees.
Your Honor, this is case number 22 on the calendar in the matter of Perry versus Donges. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thanks, Bird. Mr. and Mrs. Perry, you purchased a used car from the defendant that you found on Craigslist, and that was in July of this year. Is that right?
Yes.
And now we're about 6 weeks later, and you're dissatisfied with the car. You want your money back.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's where we're at. And Ms. Donja says you bought a used car. You bought it as is. There was no warranty on the car. Do you have a bill of sale?
I do, Your Honor. I brought it with us today.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Awesome.
Could you put it up there for me? Thank you. Make, license, model, VIN, undersigns, confirms that the above information is accurate to the best of her knowledge. Refund if does not pass SMOG or initial assessment results in $1,000. Or then the seller's name, July 17th, and the buyer's name. Okay. So that's a very interesting. Who wrote up this bill of sale? Ms.
I
Barry?
did, Your Honor.
Ms. Donja, you read the bill of sale before you signed it?
Yes.
And you understood that by signing this bill of sale, what you were saying is that you were only warranting two things. That the sale was nullified if the car didn't pass SMOG. Did the car pass SMOG?
It did, Your Honor.
And the only other thing that you were warranting was that if repairs on the car exceeded $1,000, you would take the car back.
Correct, Your Honor.
And I would assume Mr. and Mrs. Perry are going to tell me that the transmission went on the car and the repairs are in excess of $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you bought the car on, did I see July 17th?
Yes.
And I understand, and I read in the papers, that when you bought the car, you knew that the air conditioning wasn't working.
Yes, so the defendant had told us that it should just need an AC service.
Well, what she told you is not an issue. You knew that when you bought it, the air conditioning wasn't working.
Yes.
Did you have the air conditioning fixed?
We did.
And how much did that cost you?
So it was only supposed to be $5.
That's not what I asked you. Listen to me. It's not what I asked you. I asked you how much it cost you to fix the air conditioning.
It cost us $618.
Okay, so that's less than $1,000.
Correct.
So far, the defendant is in the clear.
Correct.
In what month did you have the air conditioning fixed?
On the 7/21, so within 3 days.
Good. Couple of days.
Yes.
And the car was running okay until that time?
We actually didn't drive it
Except
except to the air conditioning shop, which is less than a mile from our apartment.
Okay. And you picked it up on the 21st?
We picked it up on the 22nd.
When did you again have trouble with the car?
So the following day, the 23rd, we got in the car to take it to our mechanic. And as soon as we got on the freeway, the check engine light turned on. We felt unsafe continuing. Our mechanic is about 40 minutes away. So we turned back and went to our house. That was the first time we had driven it, even on the freeway. And so the following morning, we took it back to the same mechanic that had done the air conditioning repairs. And that's when we found, we got two estimates for the transmission ranging from $4,200 to $6,200 for a rebuilt versus a brand new. And then we got a second opinion from a different shop with an estimate of...
I'd like to see them, please.
So this one is for the brand new transmission.
Okay.
This one is for the rebuilt transmission at the same shop.
Okay.
And this
Good.
one is
Now,
from the second place we got additional opinion from.
okay, all more than $1,000.
Yes.
On what date did you call the defendant?
I shot her a text message that afternoon asking for her email.
On the 23rd?
On the 24th.
On the 20th?
Yes. She
Okay.
did not respond, so on the 25th, we sent her a piece of registered mail and a text message with all of the estimates, as well as a demand letter asking for our money back in return for the car. And we never heard from her.
Where is the car now?
It's still parked in our parking spot. It hasn't moved.
Is the car currently registered in your name?
It is.
You bought the car 3 months before you sold it to them, is that right?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Who did you buy it from?
I purchased it from a shop in Vista, where I live.
Name of the shop. And tell me why you purchased it.
The owner there, I purchased a different vehicle from him previously, and I'd paid off that vehicle, and it was not as nice as the Elantra. So when I paid off the other vehicle before the Elantra, well, for you, if you'd like to get out of the older one. And I said sure, because the other vehicle that I was driving didn't look great, and I was ready to go into the new Elantra. So that's why I purchased it from him.
Okay, and how much did you pay him for it?
$6,800.
And you had it for 3 months.
That's right.
And you sold it for how much?
$4,600.
You want to tell me why after 3 months you took a $2,100 loss on the car, Ms. Donges?
I purchased another vehicle, a BMW, from an auto auction here in L.A. for a very good price. It's what I always wanted, a German car. And I did that on June 6th because I didn't really expect to find the car I wanted by going to that auction, but I did. And when I brought it home, I'm only allotted one car spot to park my car where I rent a room.
Is there a lien on the car that you sold to the plaintiffs?
No lien.
Is there a lien on the car?
There was a lien on the car, yes.
There was, not there is.
There what?
There was, because I was purchasing that other vehicle, the Hyundai Elantra.
Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
On the car that you sold to the plaintiffs, was there a lien? That's a yes or a no?
There was a lien holder, correct? Yes.
Who is the lien holder?
Advanced Auto. $640 was what I had to pay.
Did you pay them off?
Yes.
Just a second. Did you pay them?
Yes.
Is my question. Did you pay them?
Absolutely, yes.
Did you pay Advanced Auto?
Yes.
Is that correct, that you got a clear title to the car when you registered it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you paid $4,600 for the car?
Yes.
Is that correct? And you want your money back?
Yes, ma'am.
And pursuant to the contract, Ms. Donges, they are entitled to their money back because in order to fix the car, to make it drivable, they have to spend more than $1,000. You signed the agreement. You sold this car within a couple of months. Something doesn't smell right to me. Ordinarily, you do understand that when you buy a used car, you buy it as it is. Just for my own information, what prompted you to put in that caveat in the contract that said if any of the mechanics need fixing in excess of $1,000, without a date, by the way? It doesn't say within a week, within a month. It just says, $1,000. What prompted you to put that in?
So typically when I have bought cars in the past, I like to have a mechanic look at them. But the defendant worked until 7, so she could not meet until 7:30. So I felt so I thought that might just protect us.
That's very good, because I was going to say, good idea when buying a used car to have a mechanic check it out.
Yeah.
But in this case, the contract is clear. You're entitled to your money back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,600. Thank you. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Well, we're very happy to get our money back and finally be able to put this behind us and move on.
I've learned do not sign anything that's kind of open-ended like that.
With the transmission issue, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a car mechanic, and I don't know that.
That said, they got a really good deal for the $4,600, and if they didn't want the vehicle...
And we were trusting heavily with what our mechanics was saying.
Perhaps they should have put a for sale sign up there, because there's nothing wrong with the transmission.
We wanted to make sure all of our T's and I's were dots and crossed so we could make sure we have a safe vehicle for my family.
There was just nothing wrong with the transmission. There was maybe some buyer's remorse.
The first time when I was driving it to get it looked at and the check engine light came on.
That I understand now whenever I purchase a vehicle and it says at the bottom as is.
Definitely have your mechanic look at it next time, even though we have a great contract.
That's for a reason. I will never do this again.
It would have saved a lot of time and energy if we would have met at a mechanic.
All parties in the matter of Curlin versus Morrell. Step to the podium, please.
Graham Curlin is suing fellow motorist Jeremiah convenience store parking lot.
Mr. Curlin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each one of you claimed that an automobile accident that occurred in a parking lot was the fault of the other. And according to what I read, this automobile accident happened on January 20th of this year.
That's correct.
And you were driving a 2019 Honda.
That's correct.
Do you own it or lease it?
I own it.
When did you purchase it?
I believe November of 2019.
You bought it new?
It was used, 6,000 miles on it.
Who did you buy it from?
Norm Reeves Honda in Huntington Beach.
Did you pay cash for it?
No.
Or do you have a loan on it?
I have a loan on it.
You have a loan on it?
Yes.
And who holds the loan?
Honda Finance.
And in your agreement with Honda Finance, you have to maintain insurance, both liability and collision.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have insurance?
I did.
And what was the deductible on your insurance?
$1,000.
Okay, so that your claim for $5,000 is sort of ridiculous, right? Because you had the car fixed, I assume.
I got the car fixed. The number is contingent on what I had to go through.
I don't care what you...
Okay.
It's a car accident, sir. It's a car accident. It's not a hanging. So you had a $1,000 deductible.
Correct.
Did you pay the $1,000 to Honda to fix it?
I paid the $1,000 to Honda
Did you
to fix
pay?
it. Yes.
Yes.
Here?
By credit card. And the credit card says $1,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show me.
I also have a bank statement.
This accident happened in January, and you didn't have the car fixed until June.
Correct.
Any reason for that?
I had to save the money to pay for it.
Save what money?
The $1,000
For the deductible.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. So now that we figured out that $5,000 is not the right figure, you're actually suing for $1,000, which is your deductible. You went to a convenience store where this accident took place in the parking lot. Was anybody in the car with you?
Yes. My coworker, Dave, was in the car in the front passenger seat with me.
Okay, good. I'm going to hear from him in a moment.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I asked him if he was okay. He said, yeah, he's fine. He asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah. He also mentioned that his brother has a body shop and that we can go and get it fixed right now.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
Graham Curlin says fellow motorist Jeremiah Morrell backed out of a parking spot and backed into
In the parking lot to go to the convenience store.
Around 12:30.
What did you buy?
I believe some water. I was on my lunch break from work.
Had you had lunch?
I did. And we went there
What
to
did you have for lunch?
Del Taco, right across the parking lot.
So what did you go to the convenience store for?
To get water.
They didn't have that at the taco place?
No, not bottled water to take back to work.
Okay. Did you want the bottled water, or did your friend Dave?
I believe he got some items, but I went there to get a beverage for myself.
And you got it and got back into the car.
Correct.
And you were parked alongside other cars, so you started to back out.
Correct.
You have the diagram. I'd like it put up. Good. So you are one parking slip away from the defendant. Was there a car parked in between you and the defendant?
There was.
So that's missing a car, a green car, in between plaintiff and defendant. There was one car missing.
Correct.
In that diagram.
Correct.
Okay. So you pulled out backwards and you were proceeding to exit the parking lot.
Correct.
And at what point did you see the defendant starting to back out?
As soon as I had a view of his truck from the top of the car that was next to me, I saw that he was pulling out. At that point, I applied my...
What kind of car was parked in between?
A sedan.
Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what it was. It was a sedan, though.
It was a sedan?
Yes.
Do you remember, sir?
Yeah, it was a van.
It was a van?
Yeah.
So a big car?
Yeah.
So when you saw him starting to pull out, you applied your brakes?
Correct.
What happened next?
I held my horn down without lifting it up. My car was completely stopped. I had my horn down. His truck continued to back out. I'm assuming he did not hear me. His trailer hitch impacted my grill where he did not stop. He continued until his bumper pushed up my hood. I have the evidence of the pictures of what the car looks like afterwards. But at that point, he stopped his car. I saw his reverse lights go, and then he went back into his spot. I pulled right next to him. Me and the witness, my coworker, got out of the car. I asked him if he was okay. He said, yeah, he's fine. He asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah. And then what had happened is his phone didn't work, and so he wanted me to take pictures of everything and send it to him. He also mentioned that his brother has a body shop and that we can go and get it fixed right now.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I backed completely out of my spot, came to a stop, and I was struck from behind, pulled back into my spot. I turned on and decided a no fault for both parties.
He's leaving out a bunch of information.
Okay, good. Just a second.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Graham Curlin says fellow motorist Jeremiah Merrill backed out of a parking spot and backed into his car.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
My brother owns a car dealership, and I suggested that he does have body shops.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right, good.
So, and he's a witness to that as well. And I said,
I believe, so far I'm believing you. You don't have to worry. So far I'm believing you.
All right. So I said I couldn't do that. I'm on my lunch break. I have to go back to work. And then he said, okay, let's just let our insurance take care of it. And I was okay. And I asked him at that point, are you admitting fault? And he said, yes. And I also have my witness here to attest to that. We got back into the car. I went back to work. He left.
Well, did you exchange insurance information and license and registration?
Yes, I have pictures.
You did that?
Yes, I have pictures of all that. Would you like to see them?
Okay. I'd like to see photographs of your car.
Okay. These are sideways.
Mm-hmm. Would you point to where the initial impact was on the grill? I want to know, you said first his car, the trailer hitch, hit the grill or the bumper. Which was it? I don't remember.
It was the trailer hitch. The trailer hitch impacted my grill.
Your grill?
Yes, and then it continued until his bumper
continued to go back.
Yeah, because he has like a 2002 Silverado, and so it's higher off the ground. And what you see here is where the bumper hit the hood and pushed it up. And this is another image of my hood, like where it ended up. It ended up
so would you take that top picture away and go to the one right before it. Show me, point on the picture. It's more towards one side. It's not right in the middle. Is that correct?
Of where the bumper did?
Yes.
Yes.
It's more towards one side.
It's on the right side.
Right. I got it.
Because he wasn't completely pulled out. Okay.
That's enough. Perfect. Now I got it. Okay. Story.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Story.
I came into the 7-Eleven, and I'd gone inside to grab myself a Red Bull. Then I came back outside, got into my truck. I backed completely out of my spot, came to a stop, and I was struck from behind, pulled back into my spot. I turned all my stuff into my insurance. My insurance did their due diligence, went through all the information, and decided a no fault for both parties.
He's leaving out a bunch of information.
Okay, good. Just a second. You backed out and you didn't see his little car. That's what happened. You backed out and you didn't see his little car.
I backed out
and
I looked both ways and I didn't see his car, and he was in a hurry going through the parking lot.
You didn't see his... No. You backed out and didn't see his car, sir. That's what happened.
Okay.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You were laid off because of COVID?
A couple says the virus left them vulnerable.
You were illegally locked out.
She threatened to punch me in the face.
Judge Judy.
I think the accidents happen, and I turned mine to my insurance. I gladly paid my $1,000 deductible. He could have done the same. He tried to fight it. He didn't want to pay his $1,000 deductible.
I think she's right on. She made a good choice.
I'm happy that he got his $1,000. He's got his car fixed.
You know, no one really has any integrity these days.
I love how he brought up integrity because he's not suing me for the $1,000 or the $2,800.
I asked for his insurance.
Buddies could.
And he gave me an old insurance card.
Collaborate together and take a little vacation.
Police do not show up unless there's an injury on site.
But I think it's ridiculous that he's trying to sue me for an extra $8,000 for loss of wages. I bet he doesn't make $8,000 a month.
I'm glad it's settled.
I mean, accidents happen.
You thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel.
A quest for fame becomes a fight.
It was his idea to start the channel.
This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel.
Now who's the one?
Wow.
Putting on a show.
He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off.
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority. It's not my first priority.
This is Judge Judy. Keshwan Clark is suing her former friend, Corey Ingram, for the cost of props to start their YouTube channel.
Now, it's case number 48 on the calendar in the matter of Clark versus Ingram. Both parties have been sworn in.
Thank you, Bird. Miss Clark, you and the defendant were friends, according to you, for a very long time. And according to you, you thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel. I don't know what that is or what it's...
Videos on there for... It was content for fans to see. The videos could be comedic skits, vlogs, anything like that.
And how do you make money doing that?
We haven't made money from it yet, so for you to make money from it, you have to have a lot of people watch your videos. So you have to have a lot of subscribers, and your views have to be extremely high. You get, like, after 1 million views, I think you get, like, 5 cents per view.
When did you start this YouTube channel?
It was March 4th, 2018.
2018?
Yes, 2018 is when we started our YouTube channel, yes.
Great. And in order to start the YouTube channel, you had to buy certain equipment. Is that right?
Yes.
In order to start it, tell me what equipment you had to buy.
So for our YouTube channel, I purchased the camera, the massage wand, the camera bag, the reflector, the mic, the photo stand, the electric muscle stimulator. Those are all the things that I purchased for the channel.
Okay. And that was 2.5 years ago.
All of these weren't purchased 2 years ago. Some of them were purchased 2 years ago. And
yes. Then you didn't answer my question. I said, what items did you purchase in order to start your YouTube channel?
Yes, to start the channel.
Start it.
Yes, to start the channel.
You needed, don't look down. What did you need to start the YouTube channel in March of 2018? Did you need a camera?
Yes.
Did you?
To start the channel, yes.
And all of those things you needed in order to start it, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So those things were bought 2.5 years ago, if they were bought to start it.
Yes.
Now, according to what I read in your complaint and in his answer, you stopped making these videos in June of 2020.
Yes, that's true.
Why?
We stopped making the videos because he wasn't putting in his part. He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off. And as our YouTube channel went on, I felt myself having to force him to film videos. He didn't come up with much of any ideas. This YouTube channel was his to start. It was his idea to start the channel. I just helped out by purchasing a majority of the things that I knew we needed to start the channel.
Yeah, that's what you memorized. That's in your complaint. So for 2.5 years, you worked together to make videos, and when COVID became a problem, it wasn't so easy making videos outside. Be a fair statement?
Yes, but yes.
Is that your problem?
Well, we were making videos inside.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, during COVID,
Did you
yes.
continue to make videos? Did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes.
In March, April, May, did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes, in my home.
I assume people watching you.
Yes. We still do.
The two of you did it together in your home?
Yes, in my home, yes.
So did the defendant come to your home to make the videos?
Yes, we were never at his house to make any content. It was always at my house.
All I asked you was, did the defendant come to your house to make the videos?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do you live with?
I live with my parents.
Okay. So it was just you, your parents, and the defendant.
And the house is also my 2 sisters.
Now, where did Corey live?
Corey lives in Vista, so he's 7 minutes from my house. I live in Oceanside.
And he came to your house, according to what I'm putting together, at least through June.
Yes.
How did he get to your house?
He drove his own car to get to my house.
What kind of a car does he have?
I'm not sure the brand of car.
What kind of a car do you have?
I have a Chevy Malibu 2015.
What kind of a car did you drive to the studio today?
The Chevy Malibu 2015.
And what kind of a car did Mr. Ingram drive?
His car? His gray car?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yes, his car.
And when was the last time prior to today that you saw Mr. Ingram?
Ooh, it's been a couple months. I haven't seen him in a couple months since our
last video.
Is June 12th, I think. I'm not sure of the exact day, but I know it's June.
And what happened, Mr. Ingram, at that last video? You want to tell me?
Yeah, it was a reaction video to a music video that she wanted to do. This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel. I don't know why she tries to say it's mine.
Don't go off on a tangent with me, please.
Got it.
I asked you what it was about.
A reaction video.
And can you tell me why it is that, having been working closely together in what you referred to as a we project, the last video we made, which is what you say in your answer, tell me what happened on June 12th that caused you and the plaintiff not to see each other again?
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her
No,
first
no,
priority.
no, no,
It's
no.
not my
No,
first
no,
priority.
no. Just a second. That's not what I asked you. Don't tell me what she has to understand.
Okay.
Don't tell me what she knows. Don't tell me what she thinks. Just tell me what happened on June 12th that caused two people who had been working together for 2.5 years to stop speaking. We're now in October.
Got it.
What caused you to stop speaking?
Life got in the way. So I was going to school at the time. I was going to work. I was also going to the gym. Before this, to better my life, before this, I was super skinny. I was unhappy. Every time we'd film a video, I saw myself on camera and I was like, wow. So I was my own bully in my head.
So you were the subject of some of the videos.
Correct.
Was the plaintiff also subject of the videos?
Yes.
What about her siblings? Were they the subjects of the videos?
No, not at all.
What about her parents? Were they ever the subjects or in the videos?
Her parents were in one video, and it was like a who knows me better type video, mom or best friend.
It was never posted. And yes, I've had my older sister was in one of our videos. Sorry.
You're interrupting.
Sorry.
Now, from March of 2018 until June 12th of 2020, when did the plaintiff ask you for any money towards the video equipment
She's never asked me for any
that
money.
she had purchased?
She's never asked me for any money.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Miss Clark, between March of 2018 and June of 2012, what proof do you have that you asked him to pay any part of this video equipment?
I don't have any proof.
Proof?
Yes. He promised that he would go half and half with me on this channel. That's why I bought all of the things I bought. And this channel was his
Then
idea.
I think you should sell the equipment. Sell it.
I can't sell it.
You have the most ridiculous says you want some of your props back. Your life is too busy for props for a video.
Right.
You go to school. Don't speak. You go to school, you work out, you have a job, you have things. You don't have any use
Of these
for
props. Correct.
Do you understand?
Right.
Good. We're done. Case dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
This was his channel. It was his idea. That's why it's called Corey and Casey. It's not called Casey and Corey. It was his idea.
Our very first YouTube video we ever made, the question was, why did you guys want to start this channel? And I said, well, I wanted to start because you wanted to start. Why did you want to start?
We're doing a lot of pranks, a lot of reaction videos, a lot of ratchet videos. Whatever they asked for, the audience asked for, we made.
Well, we were been told that we have a really good personality together. People like us together. And so she's more rambunctious and she's more out there. She loves the social media atmosphere.
Nothing. I had to basically beg him to come to my house to film content for his channel that he wanted us to do.
I had other priorities that hit way above this YouTube channel.
Nothing. No, I'm not even kidding you.
So I was, like I say, going to school, I was going to work, I was going to the gym, to better myself, to make my life better. And I can't just help her without helping myself first.
I mean, I don't want to throw our friendship away over some videos, but I still want to keep the channel something.
I mean, the friendship should continue. She's just not allowed to go anywhere near my wallet.
All parties in the matter of Shoemaker versus Aragon. Step to the podium, please.
23-year-old Karina Schumacher is suing her former roommate, 23-year-old Christine Aragon, for the return of her security deposit, damaged property, and stolen eyelashes.
Miss Schumacher, do you go to school? Is that what you do?
Yes, I go to UCSD.
You go to school?
I go to UCSD.
And Miss Aragon, you're a student as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were living in an apartment with other students?
Yes. Yes.
How many other students, Miss Schumacher?
4.
And did you sign a lease?
Yes, we did.
On what date did you sign the lease?
October 29, 2019.
And when did the lease expire?
At the end of June in 2020.
The defendant was your roommate. You're alleging 3 things. I'm going to get to them in relatively short order. It is your claim that in November of last year, almost a year ago, the defendant took a package that belonged to you inadvertently. You're not claiming that she stole it, but inadvertently took this package that contained eyelashes that you had ordered.
Yes, Your Honor. I ordered eyelashes in November.
I don't care. Just look at me. Look there. About your eyelashes. Do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor. I have her eyelashes. I have them with me.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
That would be a now.
Okay. I did bring them, Your Honor.
No,
with
but
me.
they're outside.
Is somebody going to bring the eyelashes?
We'll wait. Go get the eyelashes. We'll wait.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge her?
I charged her $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you?
Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes for a security deposit and property damage caused by her dog.
Now, do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the eyelashes with me now.
Could you give them to the plaintiff, please? Now you have your eyelashes back. Cause of action number 1, resolved. Cause of action number 2. Did you damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor, I did not. Damaging things, but I'm a student too. I was studying finals.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
All I'm asking you is, did you knowingly damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. I have evidence here.
Just don't speak to me unless I'm asking you a question. How was your vacuum cleaner broken?
The cord of the vacuum was chewed up by her dog.
Did you see that?
No, but I do have a picture
of the chewed up cord
in her room.
I'd like to see that.
Yes.
Okay. And on what date was the cord chewed through?
September 26, 2019. I also have a second vacuum.
And what did you just a second. Did you get it fixed?
No, it was completely ruined, so I just charged her for part of the full amount, the amount that it cost me.
Hey. In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge her?
The amount that I paid.
How much
for the
money?
Vacuum. I charged her $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you? You took the $60 from
No,
her.
she never paid me.
Just from her?
No.
You didn't?
I asked her.
Did she ask you for the money for the vacuum cleaner?
Your Honor, yes, she accused my dog of breaking it, but there are other animals on the lease too. My roommate has a big dog, and Karina even brought in 2 rats into the apartment, and one of the rats crawled from her apartment to my room that I share with my roommate, and it died on the pillow.
Just stop.
Yeah, sorry.
I know you have a story that you want to tell me. I have to tell you, ladies, I am so disinterested in this case, but I'm going to get through it for the sake of getting it resolved.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he had a snake and he was going to feed them to it, and I decided to take care of them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice. Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes for a security deposit and property damage caused by her dog.
Now, forget the vacuum cleaner. The next cause of action is money owed for the return of security deposit because you say that her dog caused damage.
Yes.
How much was your security deposit?
It was originally $200, but I'm only charging her $129 because I am paying for part of the cleaning fee of the apartment.
Did they keep your security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor. Nobody got their security deposit back.
Just answer my questions. I'm not really interested in all your nonsense. You moved out in March, is that correct? Because of COVID, Miss Aragon. School closed down in March?
We moved out June 2020, Your Honor.
I thought you said in your complaint that she moved out in March.
Yes, she moved out earlier. She went back home because of COVID. She came back occasionally to the apartment, but she moved out.
Did she pay rent?
Yes.
Did you pay rent?
Yes, I did. I have my rent receipt.
Okay, just a second. I didn't ask you for the rent receipts. I just asked you if you paid your rent through June. Now, everybody lost their security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Schumacher?
We lost a security deposit because of carpet damages that her dog caused. And I have a video.
Okay, just a second.
Okay.
There were 4 girls in the apartment?
Yes.
How many dogs were in the apartment?
There were 2. One of them was under the leash.
How many? Just a second. Were in the apartment?
There were none.
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of this, very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes or a no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How many rats were in the apartment?
There were none.
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of this, very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes
2 mice
or a no.
For a month in a cage.
So the answer is yes. What did they look like?
They were white, and they had red eyes.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he had a snake, and he was going to feed them to it, and I decided to take care of them because the snake didn't end up eating them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice.
Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
They were kept in a cage.
What about you, Miss Aragon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you living at home?
Currently, yes, I'm at home. I'm in a house now with my roommates that she lived with before, and we're all friends and we're on good terms.
Objection.
So you are not at home with family, you're with 2 other roommates.
I'm at home with family as of right now, but my house is with those 2 roommates from before. We're renting it together.
You have a lease with them?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't understand. Are you living with your parents or do you have this house?
This is a house that we're renting. We have a lease with my roommates.
Who's we?
Me and our previous roommates from before.
And where are you living?
I am living in a new apartment near campus.
With whom?
2 of my friends.
Good, very good. Okay, I assume that you have an awful lot of time because going to school virtually gives you probably a lot of extra time, which is why I have to see you today. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Goodbye. Adios. Farewell.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy...
I have a police report. Your Honor, you're an exceptionally bright woman.
All I want to do is see the evidence. I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
Judge Judy.
It's about my dog, but the fact is there were other animals on the leash. She completely ignored her rats that were on there too.
Her dog was not on the lease. On the lease, it says that any dogs that are not emotional support animals or service animals cannot be in the apartment. And her dog was not.
And none of these eyelashes or lost vacuum was an issue until the move-out statement.
As well as all the damages to the vacuums and the eyelashes that she stole from me that she never paid me back for.
It's just crazy to me. Everybody split the bill. We're all in the lease. We're all responsible, as it says in the contract. And she just does not agree and does not want to pay.
For asking her to potty train her dog.
No, they did not. She's just accusing my dog of everything, and it's just like, I honestly thought like it was just to the extreme.
Pick your roommates better.
It's just crazy to me. I still can't believe that I'm here right now and that she actually did take me to court over some eyelashes and a vacuum. But I mean, I'm here right now and everything is a lesson, definitely.
I've had them since they were puppies. Nothing like this ever happened.
But it did happen.
On social media, she spread lies after lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers.
She called them a murderer, telling me you would be upset.
I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
This is Judge Judy. Sarah Gordon is suing her neighbor, Michael Roston, for vet bills after his pit bulls attacked and killed her dog.
Judge, this is case number 56 on the calendar in the matter of Gordon versus Roston. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bird. Bird, would you do me a favor, please, and escort the defendant's girlfriend out of the courtroom for a moment?
Sure.
I'd like her in the back, out of earshot of these proceedings for now.
That way.
Great. Mr. and Mrs. Gordon, you live in the same general vicinity where Mr. Roston lives?
Yes.
I assume, since you were walking your dog, and according to you, Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the young woman who I just had escorted out of the courtroom, I assume that was the girlfriend who was walking the dog, sir?
Yes.
So I assume that you live in the same neighborhood. On August 7th of this year, you were walking your Chihuahua.
Yes.
And I know a little bit about dogs. A fat one weighs, 12 pounds. How big was yours?
She weighed about 16 pounds.
So a fat Chihuahua.
Well, she's a Chihuahua Terrier.
And Mr. Roston has two adult, I assume they are adult, pit bulls.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they weigh each probably about 50 or 60 pounds?
Upwards of 60, both of them, probably.
How long have you had the two pit bulls, sir?
All of their lives. The mother is 8 years old, and the daughter is 4.
So they are 8 and 4?
Correct.
And so you had the 4-year-old as a puppy and as a newborn, and
yes.
The 8-year-old came to you when?
3 months, maybe. 2.5, 3 months old.
Do you own your own home or rent your house, sir?
I rent.
A house or an apartment?
It's an apartment. It's a granny flat above the garages in the back half of the property.
And how much do you pay in rent?
Well, I'm actually doing work to the property, and I'm supposed to be getting paid for it as part of the work, for the work that I've done.
So you're not paying rent? When
No.
did you stop paying rent?
I've never been paying rent on the property. I was hired. There was some issues between two siblings.
How long have you been living on the property?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, this is what your case is about. On the 7th of August, you were walking your dogs, according to you, and you'll tell me the story. Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the one who just left the courtroom, I don't know whether you saw her walking the two pit bulls, but according to you, she lost control of them.
Yes.
They attacked your dog, and your dog was seriously injured. Took her?
Yes, her.
Took her?
Yes.
Unfortunately, they could not save her.
Yes, she passed away in the hospital 2 days after I believe it was 2 surgeries.
Okay. Mr. Roston wasn't there, so he can't tell me what happened. That's
No.
why I'm going to bring his girlfriend in later after I get some information from him. He has a counterclaim, and his counterclaim is that you worked on having declared his dogs a nuisance. They were declared by whom to be a nuisance?
The San Diego County Humane Society.
Did you have an opportunity to appear at a hearing?
Yes.
And after the hearing, they declared your dogs a nuisance?
Yes.
Well, if you don't like that ruling, you can appeal it. But that has nothing to do with me. Your dogs, they were declared a nuisance after a hearing. You had the right to testify. That's not something that I'm going to overturn. And the other part is that you had to get more insurance if you wanted to keep the dogs, because now the dogs were declared a nuisance and you have to muzzle them when you walk them. And you also had to get additional insurance. What kind of insurance did you have to get in order to keep them?
It's a renter's liability insurance.
Absolutely correct. And you do know, sir, that there are certain dogs that insurance companies will not insure if either renters or owners have those dogs. You had to pay a premium in order to keep your dogs.
I do know that. I do know that
and
now.
show the county. Well, listen, Mr. Roston, you know, it's no secret that for me, I know that there are certain breeds of dogs, and the country knows because it's been so well publicized, that there are certain breeds of dogs that insurance companies have declared to be inherently dangerous. I don't have to name them all, but the breed of dog that you chose to get is among that group. And if you choose to have a dog like that, and if the dog has at least one incident, then the county is going to say, we're not going to take a chance and wait until, instead of a barking Chihuahua, a crying baby is what these dogs are capable, not always do, but are capable of doing. So you choose to have those dogs. So I'm dismissing your counterclaim. The county declared your dogs a nuisance. You had a hearing, period.
The county declared my dogs a public nuisance because this woman
that's what
on
you
social
said.
media, yes, on social media, she spread lies after lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers and okay,
sir,
that's okay
sir,
to do.
You had a hearing. You had a hearing.
And you know,
you had a hearing.
I had a hearing, and Your Honor, the reason that they declared my dogs a public nuisance was not because of the action or the event, all the social media that she incited, that she got pumped up and asked her friends to call the Humane Society, call them and call them and call them and call them, send emails, take pictures, follow these guys around, even though I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, my dog's 8 years old and 4 years old. I've had them since they were puppies. And I am adamant about making sure that my dogs never get off the leash, never get off the harness. Nothing like this ever happened.
But they did.
Yes, right,
Mr.
they did.
Rustin, Mr. Rustin, but look at me, sir. Look at me, sir. But they did. They did.
Indeed, and that will never, ever happen again because she'll never be walking the dog by herself. That was...
But Mr. Rustin, Mr. Rustin, it's not to argue with me. I'm telling you, you didn't intend for it to happen. Your girlfriend never intended for it to happen, but it did happen. Now, I want you to think, and as you said to me, she'll never walk the dogs again. That's what you said.
That's correct.
Right? So
Absolutely.
You know now that that is a potential hazard because you have very strong dogs and your girlfriend wasn't able to control them for a minute. And during that minute, the dog created a situation which caused the death of her pet. Now, I want you walking your dogs, and your dogs were on a leash crossing the street. A 16-year-old who wasn't supposed to be driving ran a red light, hit your dogs. You took them to the vet because you love them. They operated on them. They couldn't save them. How angry would you be?
I would be very upset.
I
would be very upset.
Before you see how you welled up a moment ago when you were talking about your dogs and what she called them a murderer. So and you welled up thinking about that. And so I'm asking you that question. And are you just telling me you would be upset?
I would be very upset.
With somebody who ran
I would grieve. I don't deny her feelings.
Everybody,
I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Well, you say it's ridiculous. I'm telling you that I don't know what somebody who wells up thinking about their dogs being declared a nuisance as opposed to somebody who witnessed their dog being killed. I don't know how that person would react to somebody who negligently went through a stop sign and killed the dogs that you've had since puppies, that you clearly adore. And that you clearly said to me, those dogs again. And for that, I respect you more than the answer that you gave me, which is why I put the girlfriend outside. Because
Your
when
Honor,
we come inside, she's going to give me a whole different story. That's why I put her. I just knew it.
Now, can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Do you think that if this 16-year-old kid ran a stop sign, that I would not be satisfied with him not having his license any further? Or do you think that I would go? I have no idea. I have no idea. Killed because he killed my dogs.
I have no idea. Your dogs weren't killed, sir. Your dogs weren't killed. Your dogs were muzzled when they were out. And in order to keep them, it's going to cost you money so that we're sure as a community that your girlfriend doesn't walk those dogs again. Now, Bird, would you bring in the girlfriend? Because we know what happened. You're walking the Chihuahua. The dogs got away from the girlfriend. That's what he said because that's what his girlfriend told him. Now we're going to hear what she has to say. And, sir, I would like you to sit down.
No problem.
I would like you to sit down. Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I do not know if her dog had absolutely had their harnesses on.
Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you? I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
And later today.
You called them and said, my floor's buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right.
Sarah Gordon says 2 pit bulls owned by neighbor Michael Roston attacked and killed her Chihuahua. Michael is countersuing for slander, defamation, and libel.
Now, tell me your name, please.
Whitney Falk, F-A-L-K.
Ms. Falk, I want you to tell me your version of what happened on August 7th this year when you were walking your boyfriend's 2 dogs.
Okay. I put their harnesses on. I walked them up to the top of the alley. It's very, very dark up there. There's no street lights. I was going to cross the street and go up the alley, continue on up the alley. I changed my mind. I turned left onto the sidewalk, and at the time there was a large Econovan parked as close to the entrance of the alley as possible, and then there's a small dirt strip. So when I turned left, I was behind the van, so I couldn't see anyone. We're all looking to the left. I heard a noise to my right, and it startled all three of us, the girls and I. And
the girls, you're talking about the dogs?
Yes, yes.
So you heard a noise.
I heard a noise. I didn't see anyone. And then
okay.
All I know is that her dog and our dogs met in mutual combat, and that's pretty much all I could see, because after that, once I realized
so what you're telling me is that your two dogs, which each weigh, or your boyfriend's dogs, which each weigh 60 pounds, were engaged in mutual combat with a Chihuahua, and that all three dogs had their leashes on.
I do not know if her dog had their leash on. I know that my two, or his two, they absolutely had their harnesses on. Without a doubt.
Harnesses and their leashes on?
Yes.
Yes.
They both had...
Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you... I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
Huh, really?
I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story. He said, which he must have gotten from you, because that's why you'll never walk the dogs again.
I never said they weren't on leashes with harnesses.
They were on leashes.
You said the dogs got away. Okay, we're done. We're done.
Ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Over.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She's campaigning for that. That's her ultimate goal, to have my dogs put to sleep.
I don't want his dogs to be put down. I never said that. I just want them walked with muzzles.
The incident that happened, that was what's called an accident.
I don't want any other dogs to be murdered again by pit bulls in the neighborhood.
All parties in the matter of Badian versus Coleridge. Steps forward.
Sean Badian is suing appliance repairman Andrew Coleridge for damage to his floors caused by a leaky refrigerator.
Mr. Badian.
Yes, Your Honor.
In a nutshell, this is what your case is. You have a home, and you have a company that you pay an annual contract to take care of all of your electrical appliances.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have the same kind of company. You pay them a set fee, it's very expensive, and you can call them any day, 24/7, and tell them I have a problem with my air conditioning, with my stove, with my refrigerator, with my ice maker, and they send a technician.
Yes, Your Honor.
The company that you were dealing with, and the company sent the defendant to fix your leaky refrigerator. He had to come back 2 different times. He fixed one leak, it continued to leak, he came back, or he or somebody who worked for him came back again, fixed the second leak, but during that period of time, your floors were damaged underneath the refrigerator from the leaks. And you want the defendant, who was sent by the company that you employ, to pay $3,700 for new floors. That's your case, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. So let's start dealing with reality.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You show me a paid bill that you paid to the defendant.
I don't have one.
Of course not, because your contract is with Worldwide Services. You had no contract with him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sean Badian says appliance repairman Andrew Coleridge is responsible for damaging his floors.
Now, how long have you had this company that you pay for annually?
On and off, around 18 years.
Okay. Are you a businessman, sir?
Yes.
What kind of own business?
Yes, and my wife's.
Do you have business insurance?
Yes.
Because you need insurance. So I'd assume, Mr. Badian, when you, some 18 years ago, started to do business with this company that you employ, let's call them Worldwide Safety. I don't want to name them. you determined that Worldwide Safety was a reputable business and that they carry insurance.
Yes.
I did that. When I employed my company, I made sure that they had sufficient insurance in case they did any damage to any of my property, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to assume, for the purposes of this case, that the floors in your home were damaged because your refrigerator leaked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also have homeowners insurance?
Right now, no.
Did you have homeowners insurance when there was a leak in your refrigerator?
No.
Because you do know that that's what homeowners insurance is for.
Yes.
So let us assume that the leaky refrigerator, which was 10 years old?
Yes, approximately.
10.
Approximately.
The leaky refrigerator caused the floors to become buckled and have to be replaced. Let us assume for the moment that that's true. Why in the world would you think? That's number one. And number two, I assume the first people that you called were the company that you employed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You called them and said, my floor's buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right. That's what they said to you. What are you suing him for? You don't have any contract with him. You have a contract with the people who you pay. He's their agent. It would be like he was an employee of theirs, although I assume you have your own little company that they just reach out to you. You don't sue him. You sue the company. You're going to lose. But if you want to sue somebody, what are you suing him for? You have no contract with him.
May I, Your Honor?
You can't.
I'm suing the company because it was negligence of the technician.
No. You sue the company, not the technician. You have no contract with the defendant.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
That you paid to the defendant.
No, I don't have one.
Of course not. Because your contract is with the owner of Worldwide Services, not him. You never paid him. You had no contract with him. He's the agent of the company. It was your negligence for not having homeowners insurance, which actually would have covered the damage to the floor. But you're suing the wrong person, Mr. Badian. Do you understand? I think you're a smart businessman. You're an IT guy. You understand exactly what I'm saying. You did your best. It was a shot in the dark. It didn't work.
I thought they were responsible because the technician came out 4 or 5 times. They couldn't stop the leak, and they didn't direct us to buy it.
Then you get hold of the company that you pay, and you say, this was not a good technician. I want you to send somebody else.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Once they come out, and then we have to sign a paperwork from this company. Isn't that a contract that I signed with this company?
No, you never hired them and you never paid them. The first time they came out, the second time they came out, if they came out 5 times, you never paid them because you were covered by the company that you contract with. Goodbye. We're done here. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you very much. Concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, after the reception,
a fraudulent wedding.
Deception?
Just sign it.
Next Judge Judy.
They fixed it, but after a few days, it started leaking again.
He did very good job.
Well, I have to pay for it myself, I guess.
I believe it's right decision.
After making a mistake,
for 3 years, you've been accepting $944 from her.
Landlords demand money.
Where do you expect her to get $16,000 from? She's a Section 8 housing person.
But the judge isn't moved by this mother-daughter team.
I assume you would say, Mom, that's the wrong rent.
English is not her first language.
Money is her secondary language.
This is Judge Judy. April Walsh and her mother, Mon Lynn, are suing Mon's former tenant, Maria Nunez, for unpaid rent.
Judge, this is case number 71 on the calendar in the matter of Walsh, Lynn versus Nunez. Parties have been sworn in.
Miss Walsh, are you going to speak for your mother?
Yes, I would. I'd like to try doing that.
Okay, because it is your claim that your mother, who owns some rental property, is owed money by the defendant. And you state in the complaint...
I'm more like an in-house counsel as needed. So when she needs assistance preparing evictions and so forth, I help her with that. But I don't necessarily, as far as the day-to-day, I don't do that.
So the answer is you do not manage the property for her, as you indicated in your complaint. You do not.
No.
Miss Lynn, how many properties do you own?
I have like 40 different properties.
Are they all single-family homes, or are they multiple dwellings?
Some is multiple. Some is individual and office building.
What kind of property did you rent to Miss Nunez?
It's a fourplex. It's in San Jose. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath.
So 4 different apartments, Your Honor, in the same building.
She only rents one of them, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment.
1.5 bath, yeah.
You started to rent to her 3 years ago.
Yes.
In November 2018.
How long had you... Don't do that, Miss Walsh. Don't do that again. Do you understand?
Yes.
Back to Miss Lynn, please. 2-bedroom apartment. Do you own all 4 units in that building?
Yes.
Her apartment was leased to her through Section 8 housing. Are the other apartments in that building leased through Section 8 housing?
No.
They are not?
No, they are not.
They're rented in 2-bath apartments.
The front one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The 3 of the in the back
and
is...
Just a second. The 3-bedroom apartment in the front, you have a tenant in that apartment?
Yes.
How much does that tenant pay in rent?
$3,500.
Now, the other 2 apartments, are they 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or 3-bedroom?
They're 2-bedroom and 1.5 bath.
And they are currently rented?
Yes.
And what is the rent on each of those apartments?
$2,700.
Now, when you rented to Miss Nunez through Section 8, what was the amount of rent Section 8 was paying?
Section 8, they pay me $944.
Section 8 was paying you $944.
Yes.
And how much was Miss Nunez paying you?
Supposed to pay me $1,700.
No. Don't tell me what she was supposed to pay you.
Okay.
You collected rent from her in addition to the money that you got from Section 8. How much money did you collect from her every month, 2018, 19, and 20? How much money did you collect from her?
$944.
Now, you own 40 properties. That's what you told me, all over. Is this the first time you ever rented to anyone through Section 8 housing?
No, I have several, yes.
So you know that Section 8 pays so much and the tenant pays so much. The first month that you collected rent from her, you collected $944, according to you. Who came up with the figure of $944?
When I go there, usually the tenants will show me the paper from the housing authority, because the beginning she moved in, we have a walk through with the housing.
Well, then let me see. Let me see what paper you got from housing in 2018.
Yes.
So initially, and this is dated in 2018, this says estimated family rent to owner $1,756. Well, why didn't you collect that from her starting in 2018?
Your Honor, I was busy collect the other rent, and I didn't bring the paper with me. And I don't know how much it is. When I go there collect the rent, she gave me the $944, and I believe in her. She was paid $944.
Okay, so that's what this case is all about now, because now you say she owes you $16,000 after for 3 years you've been accepting $944 from her and $944 from Section 8. That's really your responsibility, not hers. Where do you expect her to get? You can't afford to pay her rent. You accepted $944. If you wanted her to pay $1,756, she would have moved out. Who lives with you? Miss Nunez, who lives with you?
At that time, when I first met my daughter and my 2 grandkids, grandfather is in and out of the house because he lives in Manteca.
I got it. I understand you have a sore throat. All right, now we're going to Miss Walsh. Miss Walsh, for 3 years, your mother collected $944 from the defendant and never made a demand for her to move or to be evicted. That was your job. I mean, you're the one that you say she calls on you. You're an in-house counsel as needed. So I assume as in-house counsel, you would take a look at this and say in 2018, because she's been your mother for a long time, Mom, that's the wrong rent. That's the wrong rent.
I don't do that part of it, Your Honor. I'm as needed. So my mother does everything herself as far as signing the contract.
She's not going. Where do you expect her to get $16,000 from? She's a Section 8 housing person.
Yeah, I understand that is the amount of the claim, but I understand, Your Honor, because of filing in small claims, there's a jurisdictional limit, and we believe, so I think the most you can get is $5,000. So what I think is, since there's definitely negligence on the part of my mother as well, but she's elderly, you know, English is not her first language, so she doesn't have a portion of negligence.
Talk over me. Your mother owns 40 income-producing properties. English may not be her first language. Money is her secondary language. She's a very smart lady. Yes. She collected $944 from the state and $944 from the defendant. If your mother had said to you, she really is supposed to be paying more in 2018, the defendant would have moved because she's a Section 8 person. She accepted $944 from her tenant for 3 years.
If I may, Your Honor?
3 years.
I have a contract actually between the two of them, between plaintiff, my mother, and the defendant, which states the amount of rent total. If I may provide that.
No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. A contract.
I'm sorry. There are two operative contracts. My mother executed a contract with the defendant, and then housing came in. Like I said, I'm not exactly familiar, but housing also comes in, does an inspection, and indicates what the tenant amount is to pay.
All I'm telling you is your mother accepted for 3 years, in satisfaction of rent from the defendant, $944 and for any more. What I'm telling you is, I believe by accepting the $944 and lulling her into believing that that was the extent of her obligation, her daughter, who I understand is an attorney, is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right, Your Honor.
Who knows how to file an action to quit because for non-payment of rent. So clearly, if there was a mistake, it was a mistake by both parties. So I'm asking you this question. Where do you expect a Section 8 housing person to come up with $5,000 or $16,000?
I understand, Your Honor.
The answer is nowhere. When are you moving? Because now you know. As of June, when she first came to you, then you knew for the first time that your obligation was different.
Right.
Now, in July, August, September, October, 4 months.
Right.
How much have you paid in rent?
I've paid, so my rent portion went down to $624, and I've been paying on.
Just a second. It went down to $624. What is she talking about, $624, Miss Lynn? What is she talking about?
Okay, the housing dropped the rent for her. Before I noticed, she told me her rent is received the housing. She said the housing email to her, her rent dropped. So I
just want to know how much rent have you received from her in total since June?
I got let go from my job.
June.
Just a second.
I don't think I have that.
Since June, how much rent? June, July, August, September, and October, 5 months. How much have you accepted in rent from her in those 5 months?
So,
Ms. Walsh, you want to answer that question?
Yes, please. So, I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said which month?
Month of June. How much from the state, how much from the defendant in June?
Okay, in June was $944 from the defendant and $944 from the housing authority.
And you accepted it. In June, you accepted $944 and $944 from housing, and in June was the first time you told her she owed more money. That's according to your complaint. Let's go to July. How much did you accept in July?
So she accepted...
Come on, Ms. Walsh.
Okay.
July.
$944 from housing, $944 from the tenant. In addition, Your Honor, we also received $250, and that was acknowledgement of defendant that she did underpay Miss Lynn. So I do have that receipt.
August,
she paid $1,000.
I can't listen to both of you. Will somebody please tell me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In June, when she was paying $944, Miss Walsh, coming back to you, you're the lawyer, did you bring on a proceeding to evict her?
No, because she agreed to make a payment.
In July,
And later today.
This is trash that was under the beds.
What did you expect him to move the bed?
This is trash that was around the beds, Your Honor.
There's something ridiculous about that. You should be embarrassed to show that to me.
April Walsh and her mother, Mon Lynn, claim Mon's former tenant, Maria Nunez, owes for back rent.
Now, I told you, money is your mother's second language. Now,
$1,756 for August, in addition...
From whom?
From the tenant. In addition, the defendant also paid $300 on top of that.
Plus $300, and how much did she receive from Section 8?
$944.
September.
In September, the rent changed per the Housing Authority. I do have the notice here, and her portion.
Just tell me how much she received. Just tell me how much your mother received is my question.
$624.
$624.
Period?
No. And from housing, the total is $2,700. If you would like me to just.
But she is 22,000.
Her portion.
October.
The same amount, $2,700.
The housing pay me $2,076. The tenants pay me $624.
Did you move in June when she was paying $944? Housing was paying $944. Did you bring Miss Walsh, coming back to you, you're the lawyer, did you bring on a proceeding to evict her? The answer is either yes or no.
No, because she agreed to make a payment.
In July, in July, she paid you $944 from housing plus an additional $250. Did you move to evict her?
No.
No, because she was making the
because
payment.
she said she's gonna make a payment for me.
No, she wasn't. No, okay. She's not paying you any more money. Are you moving?
Fairly soon, yes, Your Honor.
When? Not very soon. When?
Well,
I mean, right now, they got $2,700 from you in October.
Sometime after Christmas, Your Honor. It's really hard right now to find a place. After Christmas.
That's fine. Yes. Right now, you're not doing badly. She's not paying you for the last 3 years. Goodbye.
Your Honor, may I just interject, please?
No. Bye.
But she knew that
she stopped payment already.
I have documents that show she knew this beforehand.
She already want to pay me the
Goodbye.
When she moved in there.
Goodbye. For 3 years, made a lot of money. Goodbye.
Parties are excused.
We believe that she just took advantage of my mother.
I did not take advantage.
Definitely participate more in her business practice.
It does kind of, hurt me a little bit that she would think that I deliberately would do this to her.
All parties in the matter of Jennings versus Rambos. Approach the podium, please.
Giles Jennings is suing his former landlord, Melina Rambos, for wrongfully withholding a portion of his security deposit.
Mr. Jennings, you are suing for the return of your security deposit on an apartment that you rented from Miss Rambos.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Rambos withheld part of your security, sending you only a small portion of it for 2 reasons. One, she said she had to pay a cleaning fee, and the next thing was she said she really gave you a break by not charging you for the whole month of June when you were actually out in June on the 15th, and you had a new tenant that moved in on the 22nd.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. So let's go back to some basics, Ms. Rambos. The defendant signed a 1-year lease with you, and he paid $1,850 for a fully furnished 1-bedroom apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
He gave you a deposit. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Correct.
He was a faithful tenant in paying his rent, and he left the apartment in very decent condition.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not causing any damage to the apartment.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You know how lucky you are when you had a tenant who paid faithfully. He left the apartment clean. Your moving company found dust under the bed, and you say that he's responsible for that? You're ridiculous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Giles Jennings is suing his former landlord, Melina Rambos, for wrongfully withholding a portion of his security deposit.
Now, when you re-rented the apartment to the new tenant that moved in, did you rent the apartment furnished or unfurnished?
Unfurnished.
Which means that you had to hire A moving company. Did you hire a moving company?
Correct, Your Honor.
He moved out on the 15th. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
On what date did you hire the moving company?
It was on the 17th, Your Honor.
2 days later.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they removed your living room, a bedroom, and a dining area, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on what date did you hire the cleaning company?
In the morning.
And your cleaning lady, your person,
yes,
came after the movers.
Correct.
Now, you kept some of his security deposit, you allege, for cleaning. I would like you to show me photographs of what you allege that he left in an unreasonable condition, allowing you to keep a penny of his security deposit. Show me a photograph.
Yes, Your Honor. This is trash that was under the beds.
That was under the bed?
Yes.
That you moved?
Yeah, but he lived
You have
there
to give him his whole...
he lived
Well,
there
what did you expect him to move the bed?
This is trash that was around the beds, Your Honor.
There's something ridiculous about that. You should be embarrassed to show that to me.
Well,
you should be embarrassed to show that to me.
Your Honor.
Embarrassed. You had moving people that came in. He cleaned the apartment. Your moving people moved 3 rooms of furniture. And you're showing me dust. You're not showing me a filthy sink. You're not showing me a filthy toilet. Let me see the rest.
This is from the bathtub.
Come on.
This is
so far,
only,
that's nonsense.
This is only some pictures. I didn't take pictures of the walls. But he did leave the apartment.
What are you telling me? What you're not showing me? I just want to see that you're showing me.
This is the bathtub.
And what are you showing me on the bathtub?
There's dirt and some marks here.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, how much does she owe you for the days, sir? For the days from the 15th?
She owes me $586.59.
$586 for the days and the cleaning fee.
Well, the total with the cleaning fee is $686.59, ma'am.
Because she charged you half of the cleaning fee.
Yes. Or she
Is
charged
that
me a $100 cleaning fee. I don't know what the total cleaning fee was.
She said it was $200. She only charged you half. She shouldn't have charged anything. Don't you realize, Mr. Rumbas, how lucky you are? In June of 2020, your apartment was really only vacant, and you weren't paid for maybe 4 days. He moved out on the 15th. You didn't get your stuff out of there till the 17th. The earliest the new people could have moved in is the 18th. They actually, according to you, moved in on the 22nd. Do you know how lucky you are? Now, when tenants aren't paying their rent, they're just staying there. Landlords keep faithfully throughout his entire lease, March, April, May, part of June. He left the apartment clean. Your moving company found dust under the bed, and you say that he's responsible for that? You're ridiculous. $686. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
We have to have evidence in order to connect the defendant to your dead dog.
I can't find that. Can I just state something?
You can't state anything. I want to see evidence.
Judge Judy.
There has to be a cleaning fee.
I got what I was owed, and that's all I was asked for.
You could have, cleaned a little bit more.
She did send me the little pile of dust that I was like, wow, okay.
Mr. Jennings was a great tenant, and I'm surprised that we had to come here.
I'm surprised that we had to go this far and didn't really want to, but money's money, so...
For COVID-related reasons, yes, you cannot evict a person.
Made to move in the middle of the virus.
What did you lose your job over?
I lose my job because of COVID.
Did a clever landlord skirt the rules?
You knew that?
I didn't evict anyone. I put a pay or vacate, which is different from eviction.
I don't think that you could do that.
This is Judge Judy. Stephen Davis is suing his former tenant, Jade Packer, for unpaid rent and property damage.
Judge, this is case number 129 on the calendar in the matter of Davis versus Packer. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Davis, you have a rental property. The defendant in December of last year signed a one-year lease. She moved into the apartment, I assume, in December. The rent on the apartment was $999 a month. It was a basement apartment, and she paid you a $999 security deposit. Is all of that correct?
Yes, it is.
She paid rent in January of $999?
Yeah, she paid the rent, plus there is a...
Just answer my question.
Yes.
She paid in January $999.
Plus utilities.
In
yes.
February, she paid you rent of $999.
Right.
What about in March?
March was paid.
She paid you $999.
Yes.
What about in April?
April was paid.
What about in May?
May was paid.
And how many rental properties do you have?
4.
And you are aware of the payment of rent during COVID?
Yes, for COVID-related reasons, yes, you cannot evict a person.
Just a second. You are aware of the moratorium on eviction for non-payment of rent during COVID?
Right, yes.
That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
And when the defendant called you, because now she's paid up April, May, now we're into June, when she called you and told you that she had lost her job, she had reduced hours, but then she lost her job, what day was that in either May or June?
That she phoned me?
Yes.
I don't have the date of when she called me. I don't have a recollection
Okay.
of that conversation.
Okay. Is what you're telling me she never called you to tell you she wasn't paying June's rent?
That's how I understand it, yes.
So she did not pay you June's rent?
Correct.
And you put a 3-day notice to quit on her door. On what date?
I told her I was going to post that on June 13th. And, no, that was...
June, just a second. When you told her that you were going to post that on June 13th, did she in that conversation tell you that she had lost her job?
No, I have a text chain here that mentions nothing about a job loss.
May I see it?
Sure. So right here you can see where I've highlighted. And
just a second.
Yeah, okay.
Just a sec. Don't highlight anything for me. I can read.
All right, all right.
I need the rent. If I don't get at least half by 5 p.m. Friday, I will post a 3-day notice to vacate. That gives you 3 business days to either vacate or pay the rent in full. Now, you knew that you weren't permitted to do that.
No, that is not my understanding.
Okay, can we get together this week and make arrangements for you to vacate the apartment? Of course, you can stay, but you need to get current on the rent. Either one needs to happen by the end of the month. I won't make you pay June rent if you get your stuff out by June 30th and clean the place. I won't make you pay June's rent. Well, that you're sending her in June, Mr. Davis, and my understanding is you already had June's rent or enough to cover June's rent by her security.
Well, the security deposit went to...
No. I didn't ask you what it went for. I'm talking about you're gratuitously saying to her, if you get out by June 30th, you won't have to pay June's rent. You and I both know that based upon what you wrote to her, you were keeping June's rent because she was breaking the lease, right? Because you had a year's lease with her and only 6 months were up. And you weren't going to return her security deposit to her because you didn't mention her. We know that.
Okay.
Okay. I just, I'm not a landlord. I'm a judge. I don't have rental property. But I know people who have more than one rental unit.
Right.
Understand, because I've been doing this now for 25 years.
Holy crow.
So you weren't being really nice to her by saying, as long as you leave the place neat, I won't charge you for June's rent if you're out by June 30th, because you already had her June's rent in security, which you weren't returning to her. You weren't giving her a free month's rent.
Well, I would have returned the security deposit.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You wouldn't have. I know you wouldn't have. You know you wouldn't have. And what you did by posting a 3-day notice to her for non-payment of rent when she had really faithfully paid her rent for the first 6 months, was the wrong thing. You know that if you took her to court to evict her, you wouldn't have been able to do that. Now I finished with him for a second because he's suing for a whole bunch of unpaid rent and property damage. So he already has your security deposit. You moved out in July.
The first week of July.
What date in July?
I don't remember the exact date. I know it was in the first week because I couldn't get a truck to move all my stuff out. So it was getting prolonged because I didn't have the money since I didn't have a job to get all my stuff out.
Where had you been working?
Northeastern Services.
Until what date will you start to collect unemployment?
No.
Why not?
Because my company said that I didn't lose my job due to COVID.
What did you lose your job over?
I lose my job because of COVID. I don't know why they told them that.
So you didn't get unemployment. If you don't get unemployment, that means that you quit your job.
I didn't quit. I did leave my job, but it was for COVID reasons.
Well, explain that to me. So you left your job. You didn't get fired.
I didn't go in because most of our houses were being shut down for COVID because I worked with residential. And so they were getting shut down for COVID, and there was nowhere for me to go. So they were going to try to have me quarantine with the clients for over 2 weeks, and I have a 4-year-old son that I couldn't do it.
Okay, got it. Does your 4-year-old son live with you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want you to show me pictures, Mr. Davis, of what you allege the damage is that the defendant did that was in excess of her security deposit.
Okay. This is the first picture I will show you of a few. This is how the apartment was kept and how it was left.
And how it was left?
Yes.
Is that how you left the apartment, Miss Packer? Is that how you left the apartment?
No,
well,
there
where
was
would he get all that stuff from?
That must have been taken
Where would he
before
get that
I
stuff from?
started, before I actually processed the moving out, because there was stuff left in the front room.
Well, show me a picture of what was left.
I don't have it. I just was trying to get out as fast as I can.
Why? You had notice.
I had until the 30th, and by the time I got the notice, it was because I was house sitting for my best friend. I had about 5 days.
You were house sitting for your friend where?
Downtown Salt Lake. She was in Idaho.
Let me see the other pictures, please, Mr. Davis. Was all of that property left there?
Yes, it was. Would you like more pictures?
I'm talking about your pictures. Was all of the property in those 2 rooms that you're showing me, was all that property left there when she vacated the apartment?
Yes.
Can I see the rest, please? Did you leave the beds there?
Not the bunk bed. The bunk bed wasn't mine. The bed in my room and
I
the
just wanted to...
Okay, sorry.
What is that?
That's a broken sheetrock. The wall was kicked in the kitchen.
How did that happen, Miss Packer?
I was trying to sit
That's
down.
fresh. How did that...
I was trying to sit down, and I hit the wall too hard, and it broke. I didn't kick it in. I was trying to sit down, and I hit it too hard.
Let me see the next one, please. And the next. How many bedrooms are there in this basement?
Sure. This shows furniture that was left outside of the apartment, which had actually been left out there for months before she moved out. I kept asking her to remove that, and it remained.
Okay, I don't care about that. Now I'd like to see your paid bills to clean up the apartment, please, and to fix the wall.
Sure. Here is the receipt from who did the painting. It's $1,800, and it shows the date on which that was completed.
Next.
This is a paid invoice from did the cleanup and removal of leftover junk.
Okay, that's $533.
Right, with taxes, yes.
The bills that you show total $2,333. From that, I'm deducting her security deposit.
Well, there's more in bills here. There's another $500 for the drywall repair, and then there's another $300.
He should have done that with the painting. Next.
Different people.
He should have done that with the painting. Okay. Next.
Okay, that's the next one. With drywall. Okay, I don't have one for the carpet cleaning, so that's it for the bills.
Okay. Deducting from $2,333, $999, which you have in security deposit, leaving $1,334 for the damage. Absolutely outrageous. Now, you didn't pay rent for June or July.
Yes.
Why?
I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I'm starting to work, and tomorrow actually is when I could finally get a job.
Did you apply for rent relief?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either in your state. Is there a rent relief?
I don't know because I didn't know about eviction court. This is the first time I lived on my own. I don't really know much.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
Mr. Nichols.
Yeah.
Did you cut all 4 wigs?
I trimmed them. I didn't cut.
She didn't ask for a trim. She didn't ask for anything other than, can you flat iron and curl them? No cut. Why did you cut them?
Stephen Davis says former tenant Jade Packer stopped paying rent and moved out. He also claims Jade left the apartment damaged.
Okay. Now, Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Based upon the moratorium, and I haven't seen any prior cases with regards to the eviction moratorium, it's clear to me what I know of it is that if someone no longer is able to work and it is COVID-related, you as a landlord cannot evict
anyone.
Yes, you did. So you put a 3-day notice. You put a 3-day
eviction.
notice on. I understand that. You couldn't take it. It was impossible to take her to court, sir, because they would have thrown you out of court. You understand that. So you were relying on the tactic of saying to her, she says she's never lived on her own before. This was her first apartment, to say, if I put this up on her door, she's going to either get out or pay me. I don't think that you can do that. So I believe that she should have left the apartment in far more reasonable condition, but you're not getting your rent. You're getting $1,334. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's it. We're done. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
The defendant owes me money for rent under Utah law.
I don't know if he was able to do what he did to me or not.
I can collect the amount of rent that I lost until...
I have no idea. I just know I couldn't pay rent.
The new tenant arrived, which was in September.
And then I had to make a decision for me and my son.
This was not a COVID-related incident.
I lost my job due to COVID.
She just refused to pay.
When he took those pictures, it was before I even got in there, too, because he changed the locks on me before I could even do anything.
And I just don't think it's right for someone to leave an apartment looking like it was Beirut in 1983.
All parties in the matter of Wilson versus Nichols.
Suing salon owner Reginald Nichols for damaging her wigs when he cut them without her permission.
Miss Wilson, you purchased 4 wigs and dropped them off at the defendant's home, I assume, to style them. Had he ever styled wigs for you before?
No, actually, he was my hairdresser. He has styled my own natural hair.
So when you bought these wigs, did you contact him to see whether he worked on wigs as well as natural hair?
Yes, I know for a fact I've seen him do wigs and sew-ins and glue-ins, so I know his history of doing wigs.
Okay, and from what you saw, his services were satisfactory?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I sent her a picture of them when they were ready.
He sent me a picture, and this is what he said. He said, the divas are ready, and I said laugh out loud because he called them divas.
When for the first time did you question him about why he cut them?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Teray Wilson is suing salon owner Reginald Nichols for damaging her wigs when he cut them without her permission.
On what date did you purchase these 4 wigs?
April 29th.
Them online?
No, ma'am.
Where did you buy them?
There's a young lady in Sacramento. Her name is Tashana. She custom makes wigs out of raw Peruvian hair.
Do you have the receipt for payment for
yes,
the 4
ma'am.
wigs?
I have my bank statement because the way I pay her is through Zelle.
Okay. And how much were the 4 wigs that you purchased from her?
$375 a piece.
So they were $14.90.
Yes.
The last one that you purchased from her was on May 22nd. And you dropped all 4 of them off at the defendant's shop or home?
His residence, because he wasn't able to work in his shop because of the COVID.
On what date?
That was on July 17th.
Had anyone else styled the wigs before? You started buying them in April, then you bought some in May. Had anyone styled them other than the defendant?
No, just the young lady that custom made them for me. She's the only one that has touched them besides the defendant.
Had you worn them between April and the time that you dropped them off?
Each one maybe twice.
And you wore them the way they were?
Yes.
When you contacted the defendant about styling them, what did you tell him that you wanted him to do to the 4 wigs?
I do have a text message, and I call him my hair husband, so I just asked him, could he flat iron and curl?
May I see the message? So you dropped them off?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Did you cut all 4 wigs?
I trimmed them. I didn't cut.
Well, cut, trim, you took a scissor to them.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, you're not allowed to do that. She was very specific. She said to you, hey, husband, if I bring you my wigs, can you curl and flat iron them? No cut, just curl. Why didn't you ask her? She didn't ask for a trim. She didn't ask for anything other than, can you flat iron and curl them? No cut. Why did you cut them? She wants her money back. She said, I wore them. I wore each of them twice. They were different. I wanted them just the way they were when I bought them. And now, because you gave them a trim, they had 4 different wigs. Why wouldn't you call her and say, you said no cut, do you want me to trim them? You communicate with her. Why would you do that?
I wasn't thinking.
Weren't thinking, okay. So not thinking is going to cost you $14.90, and she paid you $30 to cut them because she didn't see them because of COVID. She didn't come in. You just gave them to her. That's what you say. Is that right?
No, I sent her a picture.
You didn't inspect them at the time that you picked them up?
No, I did not.
Is that
I waited
not true?
till I get home.
I sent them to her on the head when I gave them to her when she pulled up in the car.
Is that true?
He sent me a picture, and if I can put it up here.
Yes, please.
Okay. This is what he said. He said the divas are ready, and I said laugh out loud because he called them divas. So when I got to his home, he brought them outside on a mannequin head, the mannequin heads that I gave him because I didn't know if he had any at home because of the COVID and the COVID that was going on. Mr. Nichols has a mom, an elderly mom at home. I did not want to stay there chit-chatting with him.
Okay, don't tell me the whole story.
Okay.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So you saw them? You saw the photographs the same day that you picked them up?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When for the first time did you question him about why he cut them?
The same day, like 7 minutes after I got home. We lived that close to each other.
Did you text him or call him?
I text him. And I do have the text
please?
messages here as well.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the text messages.
And I was on the Zoom call, and I told him I was going to call him right back for my job. I called him back, no answer. I called him a few times, no answer, and then I texted him when I was at work and informed him that I needed to discuss with him the damaged wigs that were done, and he never responded to the text. So at that point, I contacted Small Claims Court and asked them, because I've never done this before, what do I do? And,
got it.
Okay.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $15.20. Thank you. We're done. Next time, think, Mr. Nichols.
Case concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
The dog ingested something.
He was in great pain. It's part of a rubber ball.
Have you ever seen that before?
No.
The dog was in your care.
Judge Judy.
Well, I actually trimmed them and I flat ironed them.
I was highly upset.
One of them was curly when I got it, and when I flat ironed it, it was uneven, so I just evened it.
He did something I asked him not to do.
Because some of them were uneven, and I just wanted to freshen them up.
I cussed my husband out because he introduced me to him, and I cussed him out. I did.
She didn't say she didn't like them when I sent her the picture.
I'm done with them. I can have them.
I'm saying that when you flat iron them, you get a different texture.
When I finally take these wigs down, he'll probably do my real hair.
Yeah, I don't have no animosity against him.
That's my hair husband. I don't have no hard feelings.
You bought a 22-year-old car and you drove it, and then the transmission went kaflooey.
A frustrated buyer is geared up for a fight.
I believe that it was a dependable car, which is exactly what was written.
What I'm telling you is you took a car as is.
Is he just spinning his wheels?
The car does not run. This is a fraudulent sale.
Do you understand your problem?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
This is Judge Judy. Brian Epner is suing Janine Bender and her husband Tom Uhrig for a refund for a '98 Jeep Wrangler they sold to him.
Judge, this is case number 145 on the calendar in the matter of Epner versus Bender Uhrig. Parties have been sworn in. Have a seat, sir.
Mr. Repner, I'm going to go through what I get from your complaint, and I want you to tell me if I've said anything that is incorrect, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, you were in the market for a vehicle.
2018 Nissan Rogue.
And who else drove that car?
That vehicle is driven by my wife.
Do you have children?
I have 2 beautiful children, 13 and 9.
And she drives the car primarily for herself and with the kids?
Yes.
Was that also your family's primary vehicle?
That is my family's primary vehicle, yes.
How long has it been your family's primary vehicle?
Since 2018, 2017.
And what kind of a car did you have before that?
Before that, I had a minivan and a Nissan Sentra. I also had a couple of Jeeps prior to that.
Okay, immediately prior.
Immediately prior, it was a...
immediately prior was the one your wife drove with the children.
I still have that vehicle, yes.
Yes, you were looking for a second car, and prior to that, you drove a van.
A minivan, yes.
That was the family car.
Yes, it was a Chrysler Town & Country.
Okay, and both of those cars were automatic transmission?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you looked for a second car, and what you found was a 22-year-old Jeep that was owned by the 2 defendants.
Correct.
You went to their house, and you looked at the car, and you test drove it.
Correct. I came with a friend of mine, a coworker. Sorry. Yes.
And you looked at the car, brought a friend, test drove it. Where did you test drive it?
Around...
For how long?
5 minutes, roughly.
How long did it take you to get from your home to the defendant's home?
I came from work. It was the middle of the day, so it took approximately 25 minutes.
So it took you 25 minutes also to get back with the car after you purchased it?
Correct, to my office, yes.
And you brought the Jeep back to your office?
Correct.
What's the distance between your office and your home?
I would say it's about a 15, 20-minute drive, 25 minutes in traffic.
Now, what day of the week did you pick up the car from them?
I picked it up on a Thursday. It was October 1st.
Did you go to work on Friday, October 2nd?
I did.
Did you drive the Jeep?
No, I did not.
What car did you drive?
I carpooled with my boss, which I do most of the time.
So on the 2nd of October, you carpooled with your boss, that you remember?
Yes.
Whose name is?
Stephen.
And if I were to call Stephen, he would check his calendar and see on Friday, October 2nd, you carpooled with him.
He probably wouldn't check his calendar. We do that every day.
Then what did you need a second car for?
For the occasions once in a blue moon where we don't carpool, and also for some errands around the neighborhood for family errands.
So you carpooled on a Sunday?
Yes.
At some point, you're going to tell me which day, you went to put gas in the car. On what day was that?
So what happened was...
No. On what day did you go to put gas in the car?
I believe it was the Saturday. So that would be the 3rd, October 3rd.
And when you went to put gas in the car, you had some difficulty, according to your complaint. And I filled the tank with gas, and then the Jeep wouldn't move. That's what you said, when you filled the Jeep up with gas.
It was not.
A couple of days later, you said in your complaint that you swore to, a couple of days later, I filled the tank with gas, and then the Jeep wouldn't move.
That's not what I signed. I filled the tank with gas. I drove it to my home.
You didn't say that, sir. I'm just telling you. I have your complaint that I can show you that you signed today, and it says a couple of days later, I filled the tank with gas. Then the Jeep wouldn't move.
Yes, there was.
I ended up pushing it to a spot near my house. I'm just reading you what you wrote.
It's nuanced.
And swore to
correct. Yes, I swore to it. It is correct. The nuance is that there was a 5-minute period between putting in gas and going 4 blocks to my apartment complex.
Okay, so after you put in gas, the car actually drove. Eventually, Mr. Repner, because what you're alleging is that they sold you a car, which they couldn't do in your state, because the car, after you had it examined by a mechanic when it stopped running, had transmission problems.
Well,
that's what you wrote here.
The car doesn't run, and the mechanic who I brought here
Just
with
a
me
second.
Today, yes.
I don't care what the mechanic says.
Okay.
You say it has transmission problems. Is your mechanic going to say anything different?
No, he is not.
Fine. It had transmission problems.
Correct.
And from that, you conclude that the car, because it had transmission problems, couldn't pass a new smog test unless you fixed the transmission, and therefore the sale is illegal. That's what your complaint says.
Correct.
However, Mr. Repner, this is your problem. You bought a 22-year-old car that, according to the defendants, and I have no reason to doubt them, and neither do you purchased the car on the 1st of October. In June, it had passed a smog test.
Well, that was not presented to me, and that was not, I don't know how it did
Well,
that.
then, just a second.
Okay.
Do you have proof that your car passed a smog test in June? That's what you say.
We couldn't find the...
Okay. Did you register the car?
Yes. Yes.
What was the last day the car was registered?
June 2020.
The car had to be smogged in order...
Right.
So when you bought the car, it had been registered.
According to the
you
ad...
bought a registered car.
According to the ad, it says the tags, and according to the conversation...
Mr. Repner, the car was registered. These two people did not sell you an unregistered car, so the car was registered.
Okay.
They said it was in June. And since they, in their state where you live, could not register a car unless it was smogged, they had the car smogged. If you follow what you just said to me, you test drove the car, you drove it for at least an hour. You drove it 25 minutes from their house to your office. You drove it then 25 minutes from your office to your home. You may have done an errand or two in between, but you drove it for at least an hour because you also took it on a test drive. And the car was running.
The car was
running?
running?
The car ran.
The car was shifting.
And it had been smogged.
I don't know that.
And you bought it, well, I do. Because you bought a registered car.
I don't
and if
have...
you didn't, and you brought a friend with you to look at the car, there is no way this car wasn't registered. You can go outside and you can check the VIN number and see when the last time that car was registered. There's no question that they had this car registered and smogged. When did you purchase this
Your
car?
Honor, if I can...
Mr. Bender? Yeah, you can do whatever you like. You bought a 22 Kaflooey. That's what happened. You drove it.
The issue, Your Honor, if you allow me for a second, I just want to mention that there's no way for me to prove that it was smogged, that it had a smog certificate. If you allow me to present from the California DMV on their website, I brought it today to show you.
No, just show me from the VIN number of your car, sir.
The VIN number of my vehicle, which is on the title, which I have.
Yeah, the VIN number.
I will replace.
Right.
Okay, the VIN number on the vehicle is 1J4179.
Good. You bought a 22-year-old car that was running and, as far as you know, registered. Now I'm going to go back to the defendants again because I wanted to ask you this question. When did you purchase this car, this Jeep? In what year, if you remember?
I think it was 2008.
So you purchased a car when it was 10 years old?
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. And you had the car exclusively, the two of you, from 2008 until the time you sold it to him?
Exactly.
Okay. With whom was the car insured?
Insure Express, which was through Western General.
Was this the only car you had?
No.
How many cars do you have?
2.
Were both cars insured by Western General?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you use both cars?
Yes, every day.
Can you tell me on what the 1998 Jeep?
It was after the sale. It was a couple weeks after Brian had taken it.
Do you understand your problem?
No, I do not, Your Honor. I understand that I bought a vehicle, and if you allow me to just state, I have no proof it was registered.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, I have no proof it's registered. Okay. I don't have a smog certificate. According to the California DMV, if I sell my car, do I have to get it inspected first? This is from the frequently asked questions on the California DMV website. Yes, if you are selling your car, you need to give the new owner a valid smog certification when you sell the car. I don't have a valid smog certification. I can't get one because the car does not run. This is a fraudulent sale.
You broke it.
No, I didn't.
You broke it.
I absolutely
did
not.
You drove it?
Because I brought it to my mechanic. If you allow me to bring up my mechanic, who would state that
What I'm telling you is you bought a 22-year-old car from people that you cannot disprove, unless you want me to waste my time calling their insurance company, which I guarantee you, actually, you have the telephone number of your insurance carrier on your other car. It's the same carrier as your other car, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Having insurance, I have insurance on the vehicle also. Doesn't mean it runs, smogged, registered. They don't ask for anything.
Sir, you don't insure a car and pay for insurance on a car unless it's registered, and it can stand.
With all due respect, I have the car. I have insurance on the vehicle.
You bought
the day I bought the car.
No, you don't, sir. You only have to have insurance on a car if you're driving it. If you can't drive it because it's not registered and it's not insured because it hasn't passed smog, you don't carry or pay for insurance on it.
I did.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Mr. DeFranco called the police and said that you were waving a gun at him. By the time you got out of jail, all of your stuff was over at your grandmother's house.
No, Your Honor.
Where was your stuff?
Brian Epner says Janine Bender and husband Tom Uhrig sold him a Jeep with transmission problems. He also claims it couldn't pass a smog test.
You bought a 22-year-old car.
Because I believe that it was a dependable car, which is exactly what was written on the ad, Your Honor.
Very good. Your case is dismissed. You're going to talk. What I'm telling you is you took a car, as is. I believe, based on the testimony, that these two people had the car registered and insured, which means that they had it smogged. You can't get it smogged because the transmission went. It's probably more.
Your Honor, that's...
We're done. We're done. We're finished. This isn't a back and forth. I've explained it to you. You don't want to accept it.
I acknowledge that I bought a 22-year-old car,
That's your problem. That's correct. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I don't know what happened once it left our house because we drove it every day.
This is a fraudulent transaction with fraudulent people.
It was fine.
Owned it for 12 years and never had a problem.
Yeah.
Who are dishonest, and I can't say anything about that.
And I know exactly what happened. He put it in four-wheel drive to check it out.
No, it drove, and as I continued driving, And
he didn't back up. You got to take back up to take it out of the four-wheel drive.
Got a little sticky, and then it stopped.
And that's how he ruined the transmission.
Buyer beware. Don't trust people just because they seem like a nice, lovely couple.
Yeah, stand by the car. It's a sad situation, actually.
All parties in the matter of Baker versus DeFranco. Step forward.
Jason Baker is suing his former landlord, Justin DeFranco, for an illegal lockout and stolen belongings.
All right, Mr. Baker, you were living rent-free in the defendant's house, and you have two claims, that he locked you out of the house where you were living rent-free, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you had, according to you, already packed half of a U-Haul because you were moving out. Yes, that's what you wrote.
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. And then you hadn't finished moving your things. You went out for a little while. And while you were out, it is your claim that Mr. DeFranco called the police and said that you were waving a gun at him,
yes,
which was not true. And he did that because he knew you had an outstanding warrant for your arrest. So when the police pulled you over, they arrested you on an outstanding warrant. By the time you got out of jail, all of your stuff was over at your grandmother's house.
No, Your Honor. That's actually incorrect.
Where was your stuff?
The U-Haul was still MIA at that point. I had to call officers to the home because he had instructed his friends who were inside the home to hold possession of my two service animals.
All right, let me just read you what you wrote.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll refresh your recollection before I throw you out of here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, that was pretty stupid of you.
It was.
Well, that was pretty dumb.
100%.
You know him for a very long time.
Yes.
And you know that he has some serious issues.
Yes.
I don't know whether you have some serious issues.
I think I do.
But I know that he has some serious issues.
Jason Baker claims former landlord Justin DeFranco had him arrested, stole his belongings, and locked him out of the house. Justin is countersuing for a totaled car, vandalism, and U-Haul charges.
12 hours later, I was released and returned home. The U-Haul was gone, and I was locked out of the house. I eventually found the boxes of my things were dropped off at my grandmother's house. But the boxes had all been opened and repacked. Thousands of dollars of my property, including my Rolex, my laptop, and my expensive shoe collection, were gone. Justin also refused to release my two service animals. That's what you wrote.
I believe, Your Honor, that I might have miswrote some things due to the fact that I have been under some serious health conditions. I just got out of the hospital after a week's stay. I do have a heart condition. I'm not able to recollect certain things due to the fact that I do black out.
Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, Mr. Baker. I don't like to deal with somebody who is not in tip-top shape. So I'm going to send you back to where you came from, and I'm dismissing your case without prejudice, so you can go and get yourself better, and then you can cogently present your case if you're not feeling well. Do you understand?
I feel fine to continue today if we can.
Well, then, I'm going to sworn complaint that I read to you. There was a whole different scenario than what you just gave me, and you said you did that because you didn't feel well.
It wasn't supposed to state boxes. There was supposed to be some...
Mr. Baker, you don't have
wording
a case.
adjustment?
Mr. Baker, you don't have a case against him. You paid no rent. I don't know whether you liked each other, whether we lived each other like an old married couple, but I decided it was time to leave because we were arguing all the time. You left. Did you call the police and say that he was waving a gun at you?
I never called the police during this whole incident. Not
What
once.
proof do you have that he called the police, Mr. Baker?
I have no proof other than what the officer asked me at the time.
Don't tell me what the officer said to you, sir. So you have no proof that he called the police?
No, I have no proof.
Okay, very good. And you had no lease with him, and you were moving out of the house with a U-Haul, so we didn't illegally lock you out.
I actually have proof that Mr. Franco wrote a letter stating that I would be able to reside in the home rent-free upon the voucher approval from housing that I was waiting for.
Mr. Baker, you were moving out. That's what you said in your complaint. On December 5th, 2018, the rented U-Haul was partially packed. You packed it.
From the
But I still had belongings. You were moving out.
No, the U-Haul was packed from a storage facility. I had packed nothing.
House.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
What was the U-Haul doing in front of the house?
Mr. DeFranco had rented the U-Haul.
For what?
Because I had to move from my storage facility.
Okay, goodbye. We're done. You and I are done. Now, since you feel well enough, we're going to deal with his counterclaim, which is for what nonsense, Mr. DeFranco?
I helped Mr. Baker out with getting him a car.
Well, that was pretty stupid of you.
It was.
Well, that was pretty dumb.
100%.
You know him for a very long time.
Yes.
And you know that he has some serious issues.
Yes.
I don't know whether you have some serious issues.
I think I do.
But I know that he has some serious issues. So why you would co-sign for a loan on a car for him, I have no idea.
Me neither.
And how old are you?
I don't know.
You don't know how old you are?
I'm 29.
29. I'm the same thing on one side. We're done. Thank you very much. Go home.
Parties are excused. Please step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, an explosion of anger shakes a neighborhood.
You body Englishing her all the way back on civilized behavior.
Judge Judy.
He wasn't like this prior to us. Prior to this.
The fact is, I needed help. Mr. DeFranco needed help.
He seemed normal, and he needed help.
Both of us together decided that we could help each other.
Mr. Baker is a sociopath. He is delusional, and he thinks people are stalking him.
I feel there are certain things that have been done to me by Mr. DeFranco that I was hoping to get out into the air.
He's very ill.
Some of the things include harassment, stalking. I got roses yesterday, actually, after getting out of the hospital.
Yeah, he's delusional. He really is.
But his main concern was that I was here today, so I'm here.
We already got a restraining order against him, so he can't contact me.
Actually, I do kind of miss my friend.
Basically, come anywhere near me, so.
I was hoping that we could get past this, but apparently we can't.
Definitely separate ways.
I don't think there's any forgiving of this one.
We were arguing about the air conditioner.
A mother and son with control issues.
She was turning on the heat, and I turned on the air.
One of many fights. Police were called.
Then tempers boiled over.
She was like coming after me and getting in my face. I just picked up the
tenant. You're a teenager with whom she had a fight and who picked up a frying pan.
This is Judge Judy. 19-year-old Justin Hodge is suing his mother, Christine Connell, for a broken phone, the return of property, moving costs, and an illegal eviction after they had a physical altercation.
Judge, this is case number 93 on the calendar in the matter of Hodge versus Connell. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Hodge,
yes.
What's your date of birth?
September 13th, 2001.
The defendant is your mother.
Yes.
According to your complaint, for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
You've been living full-time with your mother. Prior to that, you were living with an aunt.
Yeah, it's like...
Just pay attention to my question.
Yes, Honor.
Had you been living with your aunt since birth until you were 13, or on and off with your aunt until you were 13?
Basically, it's just like... since 3 years old.
Was your son living with your sister until he was 13?
Yes.
How come at 13, there must have been some reason for it, for which I don't have to get into it right now, but how come at age 13 you moved in with your mother?
It's because my aunt was moving to Louisiana, and she gave me a choice if I want to move to go to Louisiana or with my mom in Milwaukee, Oregon. And I decided to go with my mom.
And?
Yeah, it's like every weekend I had like overnight stays with her.
Was this, Miss Connell, a court-ordered arrangement that your son lived with your sister?
Yeah, she filed guardianship of him.
Is he your only child?
Yes.
So she took custody of your son when he was an infant?
Yeah.
With your consent, and you saw him on weekend?
Yeah, he was like 4 months.
Okay. And since you were 13, you've been living with your mother?
Yes, Honor.
Your choice.
Yeah.
It is your claim, sir, that when you were 19, and that was September of this year.
Yes.
You and your mother had an altercation.
Yeah.
One of many fights.
Yes, Honor.
And police were called.
Yes.
It was suggested that you leave by the police.
Yeah.
And you left.
Yeah.
So you're suing your mother because you allege several things. That during the fight,
yes, Honor,
she broke your phone.
Yeah.
And you're suing her for unlawful eviction.
Yes, Honor.
And in addition to unlawful eviction, your moving costs.
Yes, Honor.
And other property, the main piece of property is a computer or some sort of a tablet.
Yes, Honor.
Your mother says that you took all your clothes, the phone you broke yourself, the computer is hers because she bought it, and I'm telling you now, a 19-year-old cannot be evicted.
Yes.
And the police can be called, but you're not a tenant.
Yes, Honor.
Because in September you had no job. I assume you weren't paying rent.
No, that's not true.
You were paying rent in September?
Yeah, it's only my...
From what job?
Six Flags.
I thought you lost your job.
I was working there before, Honor, but then they...
I'm talking about in September.
Basically, I was working there until October, then I lost it then.
Well, according to your complaint, you lost your job in March.
I got rehired because they were short of staff. They needed me back.
When?
Like September 15th, I got rehired.
Well, so between March and September, you weren't paying any rent.
No, that's true, Honor.
Okay, so if you were not paying any rent and you're living with your mother,
yes,
then you're not a tenant.
Yes, Honor.
You're a teenager.
Yes.
With whom she had a fight.
Yes, Honor.
And who picked up a frying pan to defend himself.
Yes,
right?
Honor. Yes, Honor.
All right. Now, you had a fight with your mother and your phone was broken.
Yes.
Let's go back to who bought the phone. Who bought the phone?
My mom did.
When did she buy the phone?
I think it was July 5th.
That sounds very nice of her.
Yes.
Now, you want to tell me how it came about that she broke your phone in September? Tell me.
Basically, we were just... Okay.
Just tell me what happened.
I was just, like, texting my aunt, texting my aunt to tell her I might be going down to stay with her, and she says, that's fine. Then she took it out of my hand and, like, threw it against the wall. It's not cracked, but it won't plug in. It will, like, go on and off without charging.
Where's your phone now?
It's in my pocket, Honor.
Can I see it?
Yes, Honor. There it is.
When's the last time you made a phone call with it?
Since September, but I've been using my aunt's and my friend's phone.
No, I'm asking you, why would you carry around a phone that doesn't work?
I was just going to Metro PCS and see if they can help me fix it.
Good.
Yes.
Tell me about this frying pan that you picked up.
Basically...
when you and your mother were having a fight. Not basically.
Okay. I was just, like, doing it for protection because she was, like, coming after me and getting in my face.
What was she saying to you?
She said to turn off, because we were arguing about the air conditioner, and she was turning on the heat, and I turned on the air because it goes around the house, apartment.
So you were arguing about the air conditioner?
Yeah, then
in September?
Yeah. Yes, Honor.
And then?
She was coming after me, turning off the air. Then I just picked up the frying pan for protection in case she attacked me.
And what did you do?
On the hardwood floor.
Did you hit the floor with it?
Yes.
How many times did you hit the floor with it?
Probably just like couple times, probably like 4 times.
Couple is 2.
Yeah, 2 to
That's
4.
more than a couple.
Okay. Yes, Honor.
Did you cause any damage to the floor?
No.
Is that when your mother called the police?
No, the neighbors called the police, Honor.
Ah. Does anybody have a police report, or nobody has any evidence?
I have a couple evidence.
Do you have a police report?
No, the police never did the report. I already tried to call the Concord police, and before, they never had a police report typed.
Okay, very good.
Basically, I just have evidence about the computer.
I'd like to first hear about the computer. What kind of a computer is it?
It was just basically like an extra computer screen, so I could just like...
Not a basically.
Okay.
What was it?
It was like a extra screen I can hook my laptop to, and I can watch movies on it. And it's when I turned it on, when I get to my aunt's house, it was like cracked.
So your mother gave it to you?
Basically, not the computer. It was
not basically.
Okay. Basically.
Not basically.
Sorry.
When you left, not.
Okay.
Hey. When you left, when the police told you to move.
Yes.
You took your clothes and you took your laptop.
I never took my laptop, but my laptop was in my...
How did you...
Basically, my laptop was in my...
what?
In my filing cabinet. Screen took my computer to, my aunt's computer.
Where is your laptop now?
My mom has it, she said, on her.
Okay. And when did you get it?
I never got it yet, on her.
No, when did you get it? When did you purchase it?
August. Sometime in August at Target.
Did you purchase it or did your mother?
Basically, okay. I did it, on her. I got it with my cash my friend gave me.
What friend gave you cash for a computer?
My old friend from my old work I used to work at.
How much did this old friend whose name you're going to tell me give you?
Like $300 for the computer.
Did you buy it new?
Yes, and it was at Target in Walnut Creek.
What's the name of the friend who gave you $300 for a computer?
Devin.
Devin what?
Devin was his name, on her.
He's still alive, I assume.
Yes.
Do you still see him?
Yes, sometimes, but we usually get in arguments about stuff, but we're just taking a quick break talking each other.
Since when?
Since the fight me and my mom had in September.
What did Devin have to do with the fight you and your mother had?
We were just like, he wasn't helping me out. He only picked me up, only, from my old house apartment.
Why didn't you take the laptop with you?
I was in the cops...
You took your clothes?
Yeah, the cops was rushing me out of the house.
You took your clothes?
Yes.
Most their laptop and throw in a couple of shirts.
Yes.
Now, so he picked you up from your mother's house after the fight.
Yes,
Devin.
Honor.
When did you stop talking to him? He's the one who gave you the $300 for the computer.
Yeah, probably like October, end of September, we were stopped talking for a little bit.
Ms. Connell, tell me about this laptop.
I'm the one that paid for it, and I don't owe him anything, but I do have it with me.
No, don't. You have the laptop with you?
Yeah.
Good. Tell me when you purchased it.
I purchased it in September.
Do you have your own computer?
Yes.
What kind do you have?
I have an HP.
And what kind did you purchase for your son?
I purchased the HP.
Where did you purchase it?
In Walmart.
Do you remember how much it was?
It was like $200.
So you have your own?
Yes.
And when you purchased it at Walmart, you gave it to your son?
Yes.
As a gift?
Yeah.
Then you have to give it back to him?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you have it with you.
Yep.
And Bird will make arrangements for the transfer.
Okay.
Of his laptop back to him.
Okay.
Got it?
That's fine.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your mother turns off the air conditioner in a house that she's paying for. That's a prerogative. You don't throw a fit and pick up a frying pan that you breathe.
And later today,
we're going to go further if I'm not satisfied with the answer. Do you understand that I've been doing this here for 17 years? How old are you?
22.
That means when I started to be a star, you were still pooping in your pants.
Justin Hodge claims his mother, Christine Connell, broke his phone, stole his laptop, and illegally evicted him after they had a physical altercation.
Okay, you're going to get your laptop back, young man. Do you understand?
Yes.
You don't get moving costs. You don't get costs for wrongful eviction. You probably get to say, I'm sorry for all this stuff to your mother, because it sounds to me, based upon just what you told me, that she was trying to be nice to you.
Yes, Honor.
Yeah. your mother turns off the air conditioner in a house that she's paying for, that's her prerogative.
Yes,
and
Your
if you're 19 and you want to go live with your aunt, that's terrific. Go live with somebody else. But you don't throw a fit and pick up a frying pan. If you're a teenager living at home, your mother owns the air that you breathe. We're going to make an order for the exchange of the laptop. Thank you very much. This case is over.
This case is
Me, not her.
He was suing me for nothing.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That we can get along and everything can be good.
Sorry, Mom.
Apology was accepted.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cooper versus Black, step forward.
Tracy Cooper is suing 22-year-old Jeff Black for stealing her exercise machine.
Mr. Black, where is Miss Cooper's exercise machine? Before you answer the question, don't conjure up, don't machinate, don't ruminate. Just think about what I'm saying to you. Where is her exercise machine? Don't look there. Don't look there, because whatever answer you give me, we're going to go further if I'm not satisfied with the answer. Do you understand me?
I do.
And do you understand that I've been doing this here for 17 years?
I do.
How old are you?
22.
22. That means when I started to be a star, you were still pooping in your pants. Do you understand me? Now, I'm asking you where her exercise machine is today. Look here. Answer the question.
Not in my possession.
That's not what I asked. Don't look there. Where is the exercise machine today? Don't go.
I don't
when
know.
I'm finished making you look ridiculous, I'm going to start working on her. So just answer the question, where is her exercise machine today? Let's start with what state is it in? Look at me.
Oregon?
Are you a fool? Why are you asking me with a question mark at the end of that? Is it in Oregon? Who are you?
I'm his fiance.
You're his fiance. Is he really an idiot? Is he really an idiot? Stand up. Your name?
Sarah.
Where's the exercise machine?
He sold it.
Where? Where?
To his friend.
His friend who?
I don't know.
First name?
Adam.
When? Don't look over there.
About a month ago.
Were you present at the sale?
Yes.
Where did it take place?
Our house.
How many times have you met Adam?
About 5.
When was the last time you saw Adam?
At the sale.
How did he get the exercise machine out of your house?
He had himself and a mover that works for him come and pick it up.
See how easy that was?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen to me. He's a hustler and a bum. You want to hitch your wagon to that star? You go right ahead and do it. I'm telling you, you look like a lovely young lady. Make any big mistakes. Big mistakes last you for a long time.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tracy Cooper is accusing Jeff Black of stealing her exercise machine. Jeff claims Tracy abandoned it.
You see how easy that was? Now you can sit. When did you notify him that you wanted your exercise machine back?
April 15th, 2013.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a horse trainer.
What does he do?
He's a mover.
He's a bum. He's a bum. Listen to me. He's a hustler and a bum. I'm going to tell you why. Because I read his answer. And his answer said, she agreed to sell me the exercise machine for $500. That's if I believe him. She told him she wanted it back April 15th. He sold it, according to you, and you're not a liar, are you?
No.
A month ago. To somebody who we knew. To somebody who you knew. He couldn't give me those answers because he was so that I wouldn't find me. If you're an honest girl. He's not. He's dishonest. Now I want Adam's last name. I want Adam's last name.
I don't know his last name.
You're not as cocky as you were when you first came in, right?
Wasn't cocky at all.
Sure you were. All right, this is what this case is about. You made some sort of an arrangement with Mr. Black to move you from one place to another. By the way, you have a company?
I do.
What's the name of your company?
This case was not regarding my company.
Well, you did move her, didn't you?
This was not involving my company because I did not receive any type of money for this. I did this by myself to help her out because she was going through a tough situation. She was.
Listen, you want to hitch your wagon to that star, you go right ahead and do it. I've been around the track a few times myself, and I'm telling you, what I see, what I hear, look like a lovely young lady. Make any big mistakes. Big mistakes last you for a long time. When did you purchase the exercise machine?
I have the original receipt, August 16th, 2009.
Oh, stand up. We're going to ask you another question because I can't get a straight answer from him. And when you were present for the transaction, how much did he sell the exercise machine for? Don't say you don't know.
$500.
Probably about what it's worth from 2009. Did you send her the $500?
Wasn't able to get a hold of her.
So the answer is?
No.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Judge Judy, I was hoping just to get the machine back.
Can't get the machine back.
Okay.
He sold it to somebody for $500.
Okay.
The person who he sold it to for $500 did not purchase a $5,000 piece of equipment for $500. He purchased an old exercise machine that some people paid to get rid of for somebody to take out of their house. But he paid $500 for it, which is probably a reasonable deal for that person. You clearly didn't want it at some point because you were willing to sell it to him. He says for $500. His problem is he's a scam artist. At some point, he was supposed to move you back. He said you can keep the exercise machine. I have no place to another. When it came to move from that one place to another, according to you, he was nowhere to be found. So now he had your exercise machine that you told him he could have, and he wasn't moving you. So you spoke, you said, listen, you want to buy it? He says, I'll give you $500 for it. According to him, you said, fine. He sells it later for $500 and doesn't give you your money. That's what the case is about. It's very easy. Okay. You have anything else you don't want to say? Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, a customer looking for a friend.
60 pages of text messages, a lot of emojis, and a lot of just personal things being shared with me.
Next Judge Judy.
I did this out of the kindness of my heart. I wasn't receiving any money for this.
The truth is that I wanted the machine back.
It was sitting in my possession for several months, and it came down to she wanted to sell it.
It is a $2,200 piece of equipment.
I sold it, and then she wanted the exercise machine back, and after I sold it, I can't give it back to you.
It's unfortunate that it did have to get this far.
I don't think that he's dishonest.
That's not true. He was operating under his company name. He moved me 2 times.
And that's maybe why he wasn't answering the questions so quickly.
Get everything in writing.
I think she was a little bit harsh. Yeah.
Happy to be done with it, and thank you again, Judge Judy.
You owe him $3,950.
No, I don't.
The virus held up her security deposit.
I missed the walkthrough because I had COVID symptoms.
Your Honor, he didn't even let us know.
It's irrelevant to this case that you had COVID.
Now, a landlord holds nothing back.
You want me to go to a walkthrough and infect somebody with COVID?
Send your mother, send your father, send a friend. You're full of baloney.
This is Judge Judy. Michelle Spaulding is suing her former landlord, Kirk Wilterding, for the return of her security deposit.
Justice case number 113 on the calendar in the matter of Spaulding versus Wilterding. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Spaulding, your case is a relatively simple one. It is your claim that the defendant owes you your security deposit back. You and your family rented a house from him?
That is correct.
He gave you a 60-day notice. You did, in fact, move out, and he retained $3,950 of your security.
That is correct.
So I'm going to start with you, sir. The Spaldings rented your house. They gave you in security deposit $3,950, which you know you're supposed to keep segregated in a separate account. Do you know that?
I do know that, and it was
That's
segregated.
a yes? Good. And you can prove that to me if I needed it.
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
In what bank did you keep it segregated?
I have it in a separate account that's one of my LLCs, not a personal account.
What LLC do you have there?
Just my account.
$3,950.
My account. And I actually sent them a copy because they asked for it.
Then I'm just asking you, why can't you tell me what bank you have their $3,950 in?
It's Wells Fargo.
Okay. Let's proceed a little further. According to you, you had a girlfriend, you were moving to California, you lived in your house for a couple of years, then you moved with your girlfriend, then COVID struck, and you decided you wanted to move home. They were already living in the house, you gave them a 60-day notice. That's what you wrote in your answer and swore to. Do you remember that?
Correct.
Good. And they did, in fact, move out. And you made a date to come with them as a result of your 60-day notice. You made a date to do a walkthrough with them before they left, which is what people do when say, this is what the place looks like, and you have an opportunity to look at and say, this is my damage, and I'm going to deduct that from your security deposit. You don't have to put anything anywhere. You weren't feeling well on the day of the walkthrough. That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
And according to you, you lost your sense of smell because you had COVID.
What does that have to do with the walkthrough?
Well, it has to do with the walkthrough, sir, because you say by the time you entered the house and regained your sense of smell, that's what it has to do with it. You said,
I didn't say
that
any
in your
of that.
answer.
You're just making that up. I didn't say any of that.
Okay.
I missed.
Really?
If you would
Okay.
like me to explain,
Just a second.
I missed. If I can
No,
explain.
I'm just looking at it. I may, just a second. I may have been mistaken, so I'm going to read your answer. You said, due to COVID-19, I decided to move back into my house. I gave them a 60-day notice, and they complied. Michelle asked for her deposit back on the day they moved out. I told her she had to wait for damage checks, but you already had a date for a walkthrough that you didn't go to. I started feeling ill, so I missed their walkthrough. That's your sworn statement, sir. I have your signature on it.
It says nothing about smell.
Soon after that, I moved back into my house. I got COVID-19. Following my doctor's instructions, I quarantined. I was symptom-free. That's what you wrote. When I finally got my sense of smell back, I knew I wasn't crazy. I can't make that up.
30 days later?
The smell of dog was obvious. The smell of dog was obvious, and I needed to change the carpet and pad. That's what you swore to in your answer, sir, right?
I missed the walkthrough because I had COVID symptoms. You can see I have a letter from my doctor, so I did not want to infect them. I didn't say that I didn't have smell.
I don't care.
And that's what...
No, just a second. You said...
30 days later.
You just said, I don't care, sir. You owe him $3,950.
No, I don't.
You missed the walkthrough.
There's more to the story. I missed the walkthrough because I was sick. I had COVID. So you want me to go to a walkthrough and infect somebody with COVID?
Send somebody in your place.
Your Honor, he didn't even let us know.
Send your girlfriend. So just a second.
I didn't have anybody available. It's a 2-hour drive. I have nobody available. I have nobody.
Send your mother.
No one.
Send
my
your
mother.
father.
My mother
Send
lives
a
in
friend.
Minnesota.
Hey, listen to me, sir. You're full of baloney because you lived in that house according to you for 2 years.
I came a long way. If you'd like to actually hear the story and I have evidence, why don't you let me talk?
Listen to me. It's irrelevant to this case that you had COVID. It is totally irrelevant to this case.
Why do I wear a mask then? We're not supposed. So Judge Judy says nobody has to quarantine.
No. How many times have you had COVID?
No.
I've had it twice.
No. Shh. No. Listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Don't talk over me. I wouldn't suggest.
Well, you're not letting me talk. Why am I here? You're not letting me talk. Why am I here? Why am I here?
You're here to pay $3,950 judgment for the plaintiff. That's it. Out. We're done.
This case has been concluded. Parties are excused.
I'm honestly just happy that the truth came out. He clearly showed his true colors.
Because my whole house smells like dog. My brand new house, 2,800 square feet of carpet, smells like dog.
And that was my total interaction with him the entire time that we were his tenants.
They had it cleaned, they put perfume on the carpet, and it stinks.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie.
So I have 2,800 square feet of dog carpet. It's $6,500 to fix. So their measly deposit doesn't even cover it.
I'm glad I'm done with this nightmare and I don't have to deal with him anymore.
All parties in the matter of Roberts versus Patton. Step to the podium.
Charles Roberts is suing Bryn Patton for the return or value of a dirt bike.
Mr. Patton, I'm going to start with you, sir. Mr. Roberts had a non-running dirt bike, and you own a mechanic shop, and he asked you sometime last year if...
Correct.
So I want you to understand that Mr. Roberts, who I haven't spoken to yet, looks like a reasonably intelligent man. And you came out and you looked at the bike for the purposes of giving him an estimate as to how much it would cost to get this non-running dirt bike up and running. So far, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you did, in fact, give him an estimate of what you thought, because you're the professional, of what you thought it would take to get the bike up and running. Correct?
After we went through it, Your Honor, and diagnosed everything and did a complete workup on it.
No, at the house, before you took possession of the bike, he asked you for an estimate.
Which we cannot provide.
Did you give him?
No.
Well, what did you look at the bike at his house for?
Actually, we just went to pick it up to get it going for him.
Okay, great. So you went and picked it up. On what date did you pick it up? Do you recall, Mr. Patton?
I don't recall the exact date, no, ma'am.
Do you recall the month?
April or May of last
Mr. Roberts, just give me the month that he picked up the bike.
It's unclear, and it's not documented. I believe it was March or April.
Say it was March in your papers.
That's my best recollection, Your Honor.
March of 2020. Okay, so you picked up the bike, Mr. For a diagnosis and an estimate of what it would cost to fix it. And you didn't keep that estimate to yourself because you're in business. So you relayed that estimate to Mr. Roberts. What did you tell him it would cost to fix the bike after you diagnosed it? No, I don't want to hear the word basically or like or about. Now you took the bike back to your shop.
We were given the instructions to complete.
I'm giving you a question, sir. And what I suggest you do is a believable answer. If you don't, I assume you have family who are among the 9 or 10 million people who watch this program every day. I said to you at the beginning, Mr. Roberts is an intelligent person. If I took my bike or my car into a mechanic to be repaired, and they said I have to do a diagnostic, and they took the car to do a diagnostic, then they communicate with me as to what it will cost to fix it after they've done the diagnostic. So don't give me a lot of who shot John.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, I'm not believing you.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm telling you the honest truth.
Your answer belies credulity, sir. Don't look slick to me, sir. I can tell slick. Don't.
I loaned her $1,000. The night that the big fight went down, that she wound up leaving my house, she gave me $500 that night before she left.
Tell me how that happened.
She went out to her car, got the $500, came and handed it to me.
Is that the way it happened?
Charles Roberts says mechanic Bryn Patton owes for the return or value of a dirt bike. Bryn is countersuing for a repair bill and storage fees.
What I'm asking you, sir, is after the diagnostic, what estimate did you give them?
We were given an order to fix the bike and get it running so that it was in proper running condition. He was leaving town.
You know, I don't believe... Just a second.
Okay.
Now, I'm not believing you.
Okay.
Mr. Patton, I'm not believing you, sir.
Well, unfortunately, I'm telling you the honest truth.
Your answer belies credulity, sir.
It
belies credulity.
Well,
Somebody had a non-working dirt bike and said, as you're quoted in your answer, whatever it costs to fix it, fix it. So now, since I don't believe you, I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions, because that's what this case is about. He wants his bike back. And you have a ridiculous... Don't look slick to me, sir. I can tell slick. Don't think of what I'm saying to you. Is the bike currently running?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it currently in your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, are you getting an appearance fee for coming to this program today?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
To be honest, I do not recall. This is the third time this has happened, and each time things have been very different. So with the COVID, things have...
Fine. So you don't know. Whatever it is, you know it's something,
That's right.
Okay, good. So nothing better happened to this bike because they're going to hold whatever that appearance fee is until we make this exchange and we have a running dirt bike. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Great. Now, originally you say he came out and looked and said maybe between $300 and $400. Okay, that's a good guesstimate. You know, that never is what it is. You never get charged exactly the top end of an estimate.
Right.
What you say to me is, in your complaint, is that in July, so we had March, April, May, June, now in July, Brian texted me, which you have, that the cost of the repairs had increased and would be $580. Do you recall texting him that figure, sir?
I texted many
Patton,
times.
Texting him that the bill, which originally you said would be maybe between $300 and $400, is now $580 in August. Do you recall saying that to him?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take a look at that text.
Here's the text. August 21st, he says, $580 plus tax.
Plus tax on parts. So say the repairs was $600.
Fair enough.
Right? Say repairs was $600, but he said, I think I have a buyer. Forget buyer, forget any other deal. $600 with the repairs then. And according to Mr. Patton's answer, Mr. Patton, I want you to listen carefully. You said I had the bike fixed within a few weeks. So that $580 plus tax on parts was a completed figure. That's what the figure was. $600, which was twice the lowest estimate that I believe that you gave him, but a couple of $100 more than the highest estimate. And according to you, you said to him, I kept asking Charles to pick up his property and pay his bill. He kept making excuses. When I told him it would cost $1,500, he complained. Why would it cost $1,500?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Arguing, and I was being told that I'm not thankful for anything that he does.
You were arguing. I want to know if you went out voluntarily and gave him $500 towards the $1,000 loan.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Charles Roberts says mechanic Bryn Patton owes for the return or value of a dirt bike. Bryn is countersuing for a repair bill and storage fees.
Now, why would it cost $1,500?
I don't recall why that I don't know how that conversation even occurred. I don't recall it.
You don't recall telling him that the cost was $1,500 now?
Charging him $1,500? I do not recall that. No, ma'am.
The person who wanted to buy the bike, because I'm looking at that text message, Mr. Patton, did the person who wanted to buy the bike, was that your son?
He's my son, yes.
Okay, and then he decided not to buy it.
Correct.
Did he use it?
No.
Did he ever ride it?
Yes.
How many times? Once or more than once?
During the
once or more than?
More than once.
More than 10 times?
No. And it's just not my
Between
son.
5 and 10 times.
They have to be test ridden.
No, I'm talking just about your son, sir, not about the technicians, just your son.
Oh, no, he only rode it one time. The first time that he was going to ride it. He wanted to see if he was going to buy it or not.
Okay, very good. All right, it's a relatively easy case, Mr. Roberts. You see, you didn't have to say anything. You have to give him $600. When you give him $600 and go and retrieve your bike, you can do that with a marshal. The bike will be in perfect running order because that's what Mr. Patton says. It's in perfect running order, and there are things that we will hold hostage in order to make sure that you get that bike in good running order for the cost of $600, which you think is fair, correct?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. Very good. We're finished. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Well, I think it's a fair decision. And it's a little frustrating because he quoted me $300 to $400 to repair the bike.
I believe it was a fair decision. I believe we kind of came here and got the answer we wanted.
Then the bill came back as $580, and then when I went to pick it up, he presented me with an invoice for over $1,000.
There was a dispute between the payment that he felt was owed and what we were charging.
I'm just like, this is a hostage situation. I'm not going to play that game.
All parties in the matter of Swenson versus Miller. Step to the podium, please.
Doug Swenson is suing his ex-girlfriend, Kathy Miller, for an unpaid loan.
Complaint, sir. The defendant was your girlfriend for a couple of years.
Yes, ma'am.
From when to when?
It was March of 2017, I believe, up until September of 2020.
And it is your claim that just before the breakup, you loaned her $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a bad argument sometime in...
September 16th is when I was.
The answer says on October 18th, he showed up at my house unannounced about the money.
We could have the months.
But you broke up?
Yeah, it was in September.
In September, you broke up?
Yes, ma'am, on the 16th.
Okay. Did you go to her house to collect the money in
Yes,
October?
ma'am. Yes, I did.
Okay. And you went to retrieve, according to you, the money she owed you?
Yes, ma'am. $500.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am, the $500 that she owed me, that's why I went there.
Well, when did she give you any money towards the loan?
Okay.
I thought she gave you that money
Okay,
when you broke up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you went to retrieve, according to you.
Went there.
Well, when did she give you any money towards the loan?
Okay.
I thought she gave you that money
Okay,
when you broke up.
I loaned her $1,000. The night that the big fight went down, that she wound up leaving my house, she gave me $500 that night before she left.
She gave it to you, look, listen to me. She gave it to you voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am. She said exactly to me,
Tell me how that happened.
Yeah. Okay, well, now here's what happened. She went out to her car, got the $500, came and handed it to me.
Is that the way it happened?
We were arguing, and I was being told that I'm not thankful for anything that he does because he came and helped me find the car. He knows about cars. So that night...
You were arguing. I want to know if you went out voluntarily and gave him $500 towards the $1,000 loan.
I did.
Did you do
because
that?
He was putting it in my face.
Well, that's not what you said here in your answer, which is the only reason I'm hearing this case, because you said he blocked my car in so I couldn't leave. I had no choice but to give him the money. But that's not what you just told me.
That was the next day.
What do you mean that was the next day?
The next morning he came to my house.
I want to know when it was that you gave him the $500.
When he came to my house.
Either one of you. Actually, it doesn't make any difference. If you gave him the money, then you owe him the balance of $500, okay? And by giving him the $500, you acknowledge that you owed him $1,000, you gave him $500, you owe him $500. Oh, my God. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I think it was absolutely correct.
I guess it's fair.
I helped her out, and I felt she was very unappreciative.
Well, he gave me the money, and he said, don't worry about it.
We got in a huge fight. She wanted to leave my house in the middle of the night and stuff, and...
You know, don't take anything from anybody.
Yeah, I just, I wanted my money back.
Just do it on your own.
A roommate moves out.
All of the bills were in my name. She owes me for all of them.
But she can't move on.
She had an altercation with the other roommate.
Getting a dog that she complained about.
Yes, that's what happened.
She parked her car in such a way that you could not get your car out. And you also think she's responsible for that.
Absolutely not.
Let's get real.
This is Judge Judy. Roommate, 24-year-old Brittany Hill. For rent, utility bills, and damage to her car. Brittany is countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Judge, this is case number 148 on the calendar in the matter of Zimbardi versus Hill. Parties have been sworn in. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Thank you, Bert. Ms. Zimbardi, the defendant was a roommate of yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it is your claim, she's no longer a roommate of yours, that she owes you for rent. The rent you are alleging she owes you was someone else's rent. You understand that it is your claim that the defendant had an argument with one of your other roommates. Because of the argument, which you believe she initiated, the other roommate moved out, and you believe because she was responsible for that argument, she should pay that roommate's share of the rent.
Yes, Your Honor, that's true.
Am I getting that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's your first claim.
Correct.
Your second claim is that at some point while she was your roommate, she parked her car in such a way that you could not get your car out.
Yes, that's
of
true.
Your parking spot. I'm just trying to get this off her car. She did not respond. So you went back to your car and tried to maneuver around her car and broke your mirror.
Yes, that's
in
what
the
happened.
Process.
Correct.
And you also think she's responsible for that.
Yes, because if she
so
wouldn't
those
have
are the two things.
Yes.
Yes.
If she wouldn't have been parked behind me, I could have gotten out easily.
And your counterclaim is that she made your life miserable as a roommate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Something about you getting a dog that she complained about, and I don't care. Neither does the law.
Right.
Okay, whether she reported you for having a dog and that would upset you, and nobody cares about that. So your counterclaim is dismissed. I'm going to dismiss your claim as well, but I may let you tell me
additional
why you
claims.
why you think she's responsible for your other roommate's rent. Okay?
Yes. It was considered a house.
5 minutes of my time.
Okay, the rent was considered a house rent. We had all moved in together September 1st of 2019. None of us had known each other. And in that 2 weeks, she had an altercation with the other roommate. She had texted her she doesn't want her to move in, even though we tried to have a new living together. I have text messages showing that she told her, I don't want you to move in, and I don't like you. You have a bad attitude. And from another roommate, which the same thing happened, that she was speaking to Brittany. She got bad responses from Brittany. She was rude to her, and she also didn't want to move in. And so then when the rent was due, I was the one who had to cover the $1,100. She said that because it was her fault that she would pay me back for it.
Well, I'd like to see somewhere, because do you acknowledge, Ms. Hill, that you agreed to pay her back for roommates that didn't move in?
Absolutely not. I'm not a subletter.
Okay,
I'm on the lease.
Listen to what I'm saying. Just answer my question.
Sure.
Do you have anything in writing from her where she acknowledges that she will pay the rent for other people because they didn't move in because she said she didn't like them?
No, I don't have that in writing. I do have the in writing of her telling the roommate not to move in.
I don't need that.
Okay.
That's not an issue. She still wouldn't be responsible for their rent.
Well, it is a household rent, and our landlord has claimed time and time again that we're all responsible for the full amount.
Well, you are, but she doesn't owe you for anything. She owes the landlord. So now she doesn't live there anymore. Is that right? She doesn't live there anymore.
She just moved out this
month. Or does she?
No.
Up until the time she moved out, was she paying her rent?
No, she stopped paying rent in March of 2020. That's not part of the claim. I'm at my main claim request is back owed utility bills.
All right. Well, then let's get real, because she doesn't owe you for somebody else's rent, and she doesn't owe you because you couldn't back out your car.
If that was even true.
That's on you. You got to take responsibility. Just a second. I don't need your help. I've been doing this job a long time. If you, because of your misjudgment, have an accident, that's on you. That's not on her because she didn't move her car.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, what you're suing her for, if what you're telling me is utilities, up until last month. Last month she moved out in November? November what?
I moved out December 5th.
Okay. And what utility bills are you referencing specifically?
I have 2 LADWP bills, 1 SoCal gas bill, and 1 Spectrum bill. All of the bills were in my name. So she owes me for all of them.
Okay. And during the prior time that you were living there, I assume that there were 4 roommates altogether?
At times 4, at times 3 because of COVID. One had moved out.
So, utility bills, what are the total of the utility bills that were outstanding through December 5th that she didn't pay?
She owes $531.61.
I want to know what the total was of the utility bills through when she moved out December 5th. Not what you say her share is. My question was specific.
Well, I moved out in October, so that's when the bills are from.
You moved out in October?
Yes.
Leaving her there, and she didn't pay rent until March. Okay, so now let me see the utility bills. You acknowledge, Ms. Hill, that they were all in Ms. Zimbardi's name.
Yes.
And you are responsible for 25% of whatever is due and owing on those utility bills.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now let's see the final invoice of the utility bills. Give me the amount so that I don't have to look at it. The total amount due and owing on your last bill. First, the date of the first bill.
Well, the first bill was from September, and that's the total amount.
Well, did she pay that in September? You were all living
No.
there in September.
She didn't pay that.
When was the last time you paid a utility bill?
The last time I paid was in August.
Hill.
In September, I told her that I had to get my car fixed. My unemployment was
5% of 1,030.
Well, I have 3 more bills.
Just a second.
Okay.
So far.
And at the time, there was only 3 of us living there. So we each paid a
I
third.
don't care.
Okay.
Okay. What's next?
The other
What's the
LADWP
next
bill
bill?
was the final bill after I moved out we received because it's a quarterly bill.
Okay, hold on. What's next?
This is our SoCal gas bill from that month.
What's next?
Spectrum bill, our internet, $65.
Next?
That was the last one.
Great. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $365. Your counterclaim has already been dismissed. This case is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I think I was just living with a crazy person for the past year.
She has no goals in life, so maybe that's why there's so many problems between us.
She got an untrained puppy that she wanted to clean up after.
He's completely fine and just needed some training like any other puppy does.
I'm definitely going to do a better vetting job.
I'm glad to put this behind me.
All parties in the matter of Savage versus Bergeron. Step to the podium, please.
Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
Mr. and Mrs. Savage, this, as well as the defendant, are collectors of exotic birds. Had that as a hobby for many years. For some reason, you decided that you were no longer going to pursue the hobby, and you had acquired over the course of this hobby bird cages and a large outdoor aviary in your backyard, which is just a huge bird cage. Do you have photographs of those things, by the way?
Yes, we do.
May I see them, please? Just so I can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Here's a picture of one of the cages that was purchased.
And you had 2. Were they similar?
The second one is larger and has, let me take this one down. And the other one looks like this, yet it's white and it's larger, but the structure and
now,
the...
you bought these cages new, I assume, for
Yes.
your large birds. Now I want to see a picture of the outdoor aviary.
This is current day aviary.
Okay. It was in November of 2019 when you met the defendant. Defendant is also a collector of large or exotic birds. According to you, he agreed to buy 2 of the large bird cages of your house, and he agreed to buy them for $1,000. He came, he picked them up. He didn't have the $1,000. He gave you his word that he would pay you $250 a month until it was paid off. You didn't know him from a hole in the wall, but you agreed to that. Didn't hear from him for a long time. Finally, he got in touch, and he sent you $100. In total, over several months, he sent you a total of $300, and then nothing else.
Judge Judy, we received
yes.
$200.
Only 2?
Yes.
$200.
That's correct.
Right. First payment was missed. He said his daughter needed braces. He missed another payment. He said, claimed his wife Ann had a stroke. December, he sent you a payment, and he sent another $100 at the end of January. And then he just stopped paying for them.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you picked up the cages,
It was supposed to be
how much was your agreement?
$200.
And when were the payments supposed to start? Is not an answer.
Closed captioning is provided by Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
That he agreed to take the 2 cages and the outdoor aviary. And then a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons, and then COVID hit, and he said, just forget it. We don't want that big outdoor aviary, which looks like a piece of junk anyway. When you bought the 2 bird cages, do you recall how many years ago you bought them?
Approximately in 2001 on one of the cages. Later on, we replaced it with another cage in about 2010 or 11. But these were all indoor.
I want to know what you paid for the 2 cages that the defendant took.
One of them we paid $900 for. That was the beige large one. The dome cage we paid approximately $698. Now, there was a third piece that they had taken, which was a wrought iron indoor perch.
It was a standing perch for feeding.
And how much did you pay for that?
That perch was $298.
Okay. And all of these things were purchased over a 20-year period. Is that what you're telling me?
That is correct.
Okay. So in total, over a 20-year period, you paid approximately, if I believe it, because you don't have receipts for that, approximately $1,900.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, what your statement is, sir, how much?
Okay, it was...
I just want to hear.
Okay, it was the 2 cages, the outdoor aviary, the perch, and then there was miscellaneous bowls and like...
For how much?
$1,000.
Look at me.
$1,000.
Okay. And you took the perch, and you took the 2 cages.
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid nothing.
We agreed to do payments.
Well, you agreed to do payments, sir, because you came to pick up the stuff with no money.
Well, our agreement was...
You came... No. Was your initial agreement that you were going to make payments? Or did you come to pick up the cages with just no money and say, I'll make payments?
No, our agreement was to make payments.
Okay. You picked up the cages, the 2 cages and the perch, in what month?
It was November.
November of 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were you supposed to pay each month?
At first it was $200, and then with everything that was going on with my
No, not everything. Just a second. When you picked up the cages,
it was supposed to be...
How much was your agreement?
$200.
And when were the payments supposed to start? Is not an answer. In December.
I believe following month.
That's December.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay the $200?
She said $100 would be sufficient.
No, just a second. You didn't. Did you call her and tell her that you couldn't make the $200 payment? Did you call her?
Yes, I did.
And tell her that you couldn't make... You did.
Yes.
Did he call you?
Yes, after I contacted him via text.
Okay, so you contacted him.
Correct.
On what date did you contact him?
The contract was signed November 17th, 2019. And then...
Do you have a copy of the contract?
Yes, I do.
May I see it, please?
And I take that back. Trent did call on November 21st, and he claimed he was unable to make the first payment due to his daughter needed braces and he had too many bills.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Before you try to sell it to anybody, clean it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
Now, he's just a scammer. He just scammed you, is really all. He owes you $800. He paid you $200. That's what he owes you. You're not supposed to do that to nice people, sir. You're not supposed to take the property that you don't intend to pay for. We're done. $800, judgment for the plaintiff.
Right. This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Money's hard to come up with these days.
I feel it was very fair.
We tried bringing back the cages.
They had a passion for birds, such as we did, and we would work with him as best we could.
It's over.
I am sorry for them, but it has to do with integrity.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Roberts versus Bamberry. Step forward.
Jessica Roberts is suing her ex-fiancé, Tim Bamberry, for the return of the engagement ring. Jessica claims she was the one who paid for it.
Miss Roberts, you and the defendant were engaged. The engagement didn't work out. Some convoluted story that the ring that was purchased, which I assume is in that box, which was your engagement ring, was purchased and your credit card was used. When you broke up, the ring went with Mr. Bamberry, and you want him to pay for it.
Somewhat.
Well, you don't want to be stuck with the payments without the ring, right?
Exactly.
How much was the ring?
Total, I think it was $3,500.
Not around. How much was the ring?
It was 35 something. I don't have the last balance. It's 958.81. That's what's left. He paid most of it.
He paid most of it?
Yes.
So then let's talk about this. Let's talk about what an engagement ring is. Let's say he bought the engagement ring and you say he paid most of what it is.
Right.
You now have it back, right?
Yes.
And that's what I would do if you bought the ring and she kept it. Let's say you put the ring on your credit card, sir, and you broke up and she refused to give you back the ring. You would sue her and say, I want the ring back, right?
Yes.
Because I bought it and I paid for it. You have the ring.
Yes.
She doesn't want to get stuck with this $958. Do you want the ring back?
Yes.
Then you have to give her back the $958. That's very simple.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, sir, when engagement ring is given in contemplation of marriage, the marriage doesn't come off for one reason or another. Person who gave the ring gets it back. That would be you, but you got to pay for it. Then the ring is yours. You can sell it. Party. Can I see the ring? Just because I'm a little bit of a yenta.
It was designed for me. It was the salespeople that talked me into getting the credit card.
It's very pretty. Before you try to sell it to anybody, clean it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Needs a good cleaning. Okay, anything else you want to tell me? Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $958. That's all. Give him back his ring, Bird. It's his.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You took the sneakers and then claimed they were fakes.
We did a UV light test, which is an indicator of them not being authentic.
Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're a bug.
Judge Judy.
I just wanted the ring paid off. I wanted no more ties to each other.
Well, I was hoping that, I could at least try to recoup some of my losses.
We just couldn't communicate with each other to come to a resolution.
Probably because we still were kind of, getting along at one time, and we just tried to do it, and we just got back in each other's faces, kept yelling and screaming.
We broke up because we fight too much.
It just wasn't meant to last, I guess.
Very whirlwind. We were engaged a month after we met.
It was unbelievably fast and good.